Hey guys, Kevin here from the Strictly Broken TCG team, and with me is, as usual, Jason Malik from Strictly Broken as well, my usual co-host for all these shows. And today we're both free, and we're just gonna make some easy content clickbaits for everyone. Our take on a Japanese Weiss Schwarz tier list. Here we have 46, if I counted correctly. Oh wait, my account is wrong. Was it 6, 12, 48, 50, 55? Okay, we have like 55 decks here. Majority of them should be pretty relevant in the JP meta right now, and we'll be rating them. We won't have like all the sets because there's just too many fucking sets in Weiss Schwarz for us to go over. But these ones should be the handpicked relatively few. I double checked them with Jason before. And we should be good to go. If your set's not your deck or set's not on here, we're sorry about that. But we're basically looking at the top meta game for Weiss Schwarz. Even though I actually put this card as a phantom, not a book.
Some of the bottom tiers.
There's some weird stuff like shiny mask, and Albuda, but we'll go over them as we progress through. Yeah, last time we did the tier list for the community tier list, we never actually ended up uploading that to YouTube because it ended up being quite scuffed.
Yeah,
Jason had
a fit.
Jason had like a bunch of problem with his internet back then. So we'll try our take here with an actual tier list that me and Jason will come to agree on. We actually didn't discuss too much, but I believe our two ideas of the Japanese meta is relatively the same.
Pretty similar.
Yeah, so hopefully this be fine. Last time I also had a party going on. I also have a party going on today, but we have a noise gate now, so you probably won't hear it. Let's go over a tier list. You know, S, A, B, C, D. Pretty straightforward. I think S is gonna be like the most meta-defining sets decks. Oh, thank you, Reslam, for the follow. So yeah, S will be the most relevant, most meta-defining sets. So these are sets you probably want to be looking towards when you want to play in the Japanese meta competitively. A tiers are still meta decks, you know. You'll see them quite often. They won't be as threatening as the S tier. You probably don't have to consider them as much as the S tier, but are definitely something you should be still considering when you're trying to play, you know, competitive Weiss. B tiers are like relevant decks. They're once in a while. Probably run into them. It's fine. C's like kind of relevant. Maybe
locals.
You'll see them.
You'll see the locals.
You probably don't have to consider these decks. You might want to consider some decks in B tier. C, you probably start like don't have to worry about them unless you're apparently for some reason your local plays like 50 of these C tier decks. You know.
True.
And D tier decks are like. Why did I even put them on here on this list?
No, we're not gonna have a limit of S tier. If we think a deck is like a big meta threat or like super relevant, it'll just be an S tier.
I think because we only have like 55.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be that many, but there's no like hard limit.
We don't have too many decks this time, so I think we'll just go one by one, and we'll just rate them as we go, and we'll talk about each deck. Usually these Weiss Schwarz tier lists, they talk about the sets as a whole. And we're trying to avoid that because a lot of times we have questions people going, oh, which slime deck's the best slime deck?
Toxic.
I think we'll try to order SA. Maybe we'll order B as we have time. C and D will not be ordered at all. We'll just throw them in there, and you know they'll be there. Maybe we'll order them if we have extra time. But yeah, nah. The only thing you see locals is Dow, Sag. True.
We have the 3 Dow guys every week.
Smoj. I have 2 Dow guys in my locals that brings in like half the time. I think one of the Dow guys actually swapped off to be a Kagyo guy now.
Yeah, one guy swapped to like playing slime every now and then, but I think having a bad time with it.
Yeah. Alright, so let's get this on the way. First deck we have is the 8-door quintuplet build with mainly Itsuki.
Yeah, it's like the set 2 Itsuki top end.
Yeah, and the set 2
splashes Ichika's.
Yeah.
Double set 2 combos.
Double set 2
ones.
combos, pretty nice. You get the Ricky that's in the set now. You have a bunch of ways to build hand and a potent finisher that eats a lot of hand. You don't have like a heal per se.
Yeah.
Your finisher is not a healing finisher.
Eats your hand. Yeah, so you just slam 4. You slam like 4 each early plays, and you're just like, yep, this is my heal. You have all the hand for it, so it doesn't really matter too much.
This deck did see success in the Japanese nationals for WGP for Japan. It came 4th.
Yeah.
But that was pre-ban list too, and that was like a completely different meta. Back then, the meta, you know, was Kaguya, Symphogear, Data Live, Yushoku. Now the meta is more warped around quintuplets
and Mushoku.
And some other decks we'll talk about. So where do you kind of want to put 8-door?
It's probably like, I'd probably say it's like a high B, low A deck.
That's what I'm thinking too. I was off the top of my head, like thinking this is probably like a high B. So the meta
like
has changed.
Could be low A, but it's
board is way more important now than I believe it was before. So even though you can build up infinite hand, you're not testing your opponent's board. They're also building, you know, infinite hand as well.
Yeah, your stuff's just not big enough for like Mushoku and stuff. Like you can contest Mushoku's board a little bit, but it's really hard. You have to commit a lot of extra resources to actually get there, and it's probably just not worth it in the end.
By no means not a horrible deck. It does lack like decompression tools. Its EP is like kind of whatever, you know. Run check X EP, you can run an EP healer. They're decent sized bodies, but they're not anything notable, anything special.
You have a really good Adachi though.
That's true. But you know what else can play a really good Adachi?
Yeah,
8 standby.
Yeah, I think this deck is really good. If this deck gets to loop combos for like a turn or two, I think it's like really sick. But
I personally think 8 standby quintuplets is the best deck in the meta right now. It's super well positioned right now.
Okay, I mean, I think as a structured deck, I think Mushoku is still better, but I think just on the merit that Quince actually like obliterates Mushoku makes it better.
And yeah, in meta relevancy, it is quite favored right now.
It is just like the matchup Mushoku does not want to queue into at all.
I'm pretty sure we both can agree this is S tier, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
This deck is so consistent. It's so gross.
You have a lot of utility to find cards what you need. So this deck, I think you can run up to 5 different techs, and the only problem with this deck is that you literally don't have a space to run all 5 techs.
But you can pick like 3.
Yeah, you have like Icy Tail top in, anti-change
people
counter,
are choosing to cut their runner,
bomb.
right? Like to fit all the tech cards they want to play, they're like just scrapping runner to like 2 of.
Yeah, some people lower counts on some of the core cards just to fit into text. You want like free fresh, PR, the Adachi,
that card
anti-reverse 1/1, anti-change counter, icy tail. You want the back row that gives all your characters clock kick. There's just so much you want, and it's so good. If you ever hit low deck stay on your turn, you just fucking nut.
Oh my god, you
board.
Just explode. Well, it's only good at like 2 though.
Yes.
I feel like at level 1 it kind of sucks, but if you like, I think it's like that weird deck where it's like I'm usually pretty okay leveling to 2 first, like my first deck, and not like thinking too much about it. Like I won't be too upset because like I feel like I can stabilize with like a 2-3 event and whatnot, and like still make it in like a second, like a mediocre second deck, just because of the explosiveness of the top end, like how much you get if you can actually like go to 2 and then just like shuffle 2 Ninos in your deck and then just go.
Yeah, just go. Very strong, very high roll.
How much flex space is available if so limited? You get like 3. It's like there's like 5 or 6 flex cards you really want to look at, and you get to pick like 3 of them.
Currently in my deck, I'm running the Adachi, the clock kick back row, and the Icy Tail. That's my free choice.
I'm playing the clock kick back row, the anti 1/1, or the anti costless, can't be reversed by costless, and the well, is the Ichika changer a flex spot?
No, I think that's like a mandatory spot. I actually kind of want to up it to 2 and take down one of the
I thought about
global
it too,
1500s.
I'm only playing 2 global 1500s.
I'm only playing 2 as well. I'm thinking about cutting down to
Man,
1.
you want to go to 1? Really? That's like a card I always want on my board. I play the free fresh counter. I'm like a big believer in the free fresh counter.
I mean, free fresh 0/0.
Yeah. The free fresh. I wish the card was a counter. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, the free fresh level 0. I'm like, if you don't play that card, like I feel like your deck is a lot worse sometimes, and it doesn't. You can abuse like the really good selection for zeros that this deck has to make sure you can actually resolve it. So it's like it's may as well capitalize on. And this deck has like a lot of stock usually, and it doesn't need a lot of stock. I think I'm also playing the anti-change counter right now. Like I was being a little greedy with room and trying that out, but I'm probably gonna cut it for the Adachi.
Yeah.
I think the Adachi has seemed better.
Thank you, Kai791 for the follow. All right, next deck is this is a new set, Salt Lily, a choice build or X choice, whatever you want to do. Something along with the choice top.
I've been seeing. What have I been seeing? Book choice.
Yeah, book choice is one of them. 8 choice is
Book
one
choice,
of them.
pants choice, 8 choice. I feel like I never see 8 choice. I feel like I've seen it like infrequently compared to the others.
Today we saw a bar choice list.
Yeah, gross. That deck looks stinky.
Book combo is really nice. Pump you up
Book
so you can beat up
combos.
one lane, and then high selectivity
Yeah.
thins out your deck. Really strong.
Book combo is so insane. It also lets you. It gets abused by the Renka Brainstorm, the tap 2 Brainstorm. That card is just. I knew that card was gonna be broken. The second I saw like that we've seen a Salt Lily's book combo play pattern of like you stick a Yuri in the back row and you just let it sit there and rot. The more I realized that is just an abusable line of play for the Brainstorm, because it means you can conserve slots and not play like the off color level zeros.
You can end
you
up
just
playing
go.
the new Ricky.
Yeah,
Don't
you
take
get to
in
play all
green.
these gross cards.
Eh.
No, having no green is so nice, because green was always like a really awkward.
But green
part
was
of the deck.
necessary back then.
Yeah, you had Shenlong Bomb and stuff, so you could usually get it
necessary
incidentally. But now I think all the decks just got streamlined. If you choose to play Book or Pants top end, or put
But,
Book or Pants,
we're here to
level
talk
1
about choice right now.
choice. Yeah,
Choice is definitely not as good as one of them. I kind of
not
want
the
to
best
put a
one.
B. I saw one of my locals play 8 choice, and it was kind of underwhelming.
no, you brainstorm or you stock whenever it's relevant. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think it's actually B? I feel like the top end itself is still like it's about as costly as the door. I think like in terms of like realistic ability to like resolve. But you get the whole resonate package out of playing the choice stuff, which makes me like really inclined to like it, because you hit those. It helps you hit those like really gross power lines.
I'm
right,
not a
with, like,
big
the
fan of
resonator.
having to clog your hand up with unplayables for the
Well,
first
you-
3 levels.
I guess. I mean, the argument is that your selection is high enough that having like 2 bricks, like sitting on just 2 bricks in your hand, is not actually unusual compared to what other decks do, right? Like things like Quince will hold their free fresh counter, and decks that need their specific like cards for like mid game, like Rushia and stuff, they'll grip Flare. So you'll grip a Flare, you'll grip like a Rushia or something, and you'll just like hug it for forever.
High B, low A.
So
I
yeah,
think-
I'm a low A person too. I just think that it's level 1. Its package is just good enough that I'm inclined to believe in it. And the
Okay.
top end is still like it's good enough to kill people. It is like
Okay.
your nuts is like double restand 3 burn 2s. Your average is like double restand 2 burn 2s. Which I mean, like, I think that's still good enough for most cases, right? I don't think it's as good as the other Assault Lily decks, but I think it's like, if we want it, we can leave it in A for now. If we want to drop it down because other decks are just better, we can do that.
Okay,
But,
we'll leave it for A, low A now, so we'll put other cards in
yeah,
front
we'll
of
just
it.
keep moving things in front of it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, all 3 of the top ends are pretty good. I agree.
Door top
Even
end is solid.
Quint has a refresh,
We see we have the usual book door top end that was
It's
really
this deck's
good.
S tier. This deck's S tier.
But we also have seen the new pants door top end too,
Yeah, I think
or pants door deck where you played like
I think this deck
the
is still
warehouse level
ridiculous.
1.
Yeah. I like the pants a lot, actually.
Yeah. This card. This deck's kind of same as it was before. you just build up a bunch of stock, build a
Streamlined,
bunch of
that's it.
resources, and then you go for a wholly powerful top end where you icy tail 3-6 times, and you get a restand, all for 8 stock in one hand.
Yeah, it is super consistent now. Like a lot of like the issues you had are
there's
gone.
Some 8-door lists, but I think there's not as much 8
I don't
doors.
believe in the
Problem
believe in
8-door is deck
speed.
speed, yeah. The new pants level 1 combo that's like the Christmas Cosme gives you that mail, and then still playing book level 1 gives you that compression on your combo turn.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of extra like compression early game, and then it just lets you like select for these cards better to like move through your deck. Like it lets you actually like select for Chiori when it's good. So because you can't do that indoor, right? If you're usually like level 1 turn, your selection with your salvage combo is like super selective or like super like restrictive. You get way more selection out of the book. So if you need to mill, you need to do certain things, you can expect the book to grab you the card you actually need on average more often.
Yep.
And this deck also gets the convenience of playing the restander without actual any
downside.
You don't have to think about playing it. You just do it. The next deck we talk about will play it, but it has to actually think about it or has a punishment for it. So I think this deck's been good. It stays good.
Got buffed with a new set.
Yeah,
was
it's
already
just
like
cleaner.
Like before the second set, this card was already like high A, low S. Now it's like I guaranteed S.
Top 4, top 5 easily.
Yeah, all right. Let's talk about the next one, the pants one. Most notable ones that you usually see with this pants is like the book level 1 combo. Usually you don't.
Booker pants, right?
Yeah, you either play 8 pants or you play book pants. I think book pants is the stronger of the two.
Agreed.
What this deck has over Riri is that it's a cheaper top end. Like you only need 7 stock to go off. Maybe 6
7 stock, and it has a better mid game.
Yeah, it has a better mid game because it has the whole early play package. We just built. You also like refund a bunch of stock too.
Yeah. And
then you actually get a pretty nasty board at level 2.
Yeah,
so,
you can actually like contest these standby decks. Where like the door deck does not do that at all.
Yeah, so for having a slightly worse top end, you have a stronger mid game.
Yeah. Okay, it is actually like, I think it's quite a bit worse, to be honest. If you don't do the full like 9 stock, dump your whole hand, like restand thing,
which is quite expensive indeed.
Yeah. I think when you don't do that stuff, like this top end is significantly worse. This top end is a lot more it's a lot more like similar to pre-Kane, right? It's like this deck is like actually just better pre-Kane, the way I look at it. You have much more. You have the same kind of damage, like you're the same like kind of combo, where you're like stacking your burns on whatever you want. Your mid game is better, but you're also doing that same thing where you're just like climbing over things. So, and you have a better level 1 combo. Kokoro's okay, but I mean, being better than one of my favorite decks is pretty good. I still think this deck is probably better than Door. I don't think the top end is everything. I do.
Alright, so you want to put this in S tier above Door?
Yeah. I'd even consider dropping Door down if we were like feeling it. Like to like I'd be top of A though, bare minimum though.
I understand. I kind of feel that too.
But book pants is so gross because it also means you loop your book more often in the early game, which I think means a lot.
That is very true. Pants does help that book looping, and that's the one thing I missed when I was playing book Door. Sometimes you just end up with some turns where you literally do nothing because either A, don't see the book again, or B, you have no good early plays you want to slam down.
Yeah, okay, true. Book pants also gets that 1/0 back row. That card is gross. Making your books into doors and being able to pay out your pants and then draw drop so you can fix your hand a little bit more. Really, really sick.
Now, a deck that has also a really good finisher, but basically worse everything else. Adventure Time.
Probably what, like somewhere like mid B tier.
Yeah, I'm thinking mid B.
Like it's all in on its finisher. Its best part about it is that it's still Demon Bloodsword.
Yeah, it has the ability to bounce 2 cards, which is really nice. But it's
the actual standby decks in Japanese don't care as much. They can rebuild their boards better than every English standby deck can right now, right?
Yeah, quintuplets with They're just summons or standby targets in the
12
front one. 12
standbys.
standby.
Yeah.
Mushoku is
Mushoku,
twin
twin
drives.
driving.
Nijisaki is twin drives.
Like, it just doesn't matter. And then there's so many relevant 1k1 decks in this format as well that it's like Adventure Time just becomes another 1k1 deck or like a hybrid standby if you choose to
Yeah,
play
and
it that way.
we just talked about 3 1k1 decks that has better top end and better mid game than Adventure Time itself.
So it's just not comparable. I would never pick Adventure Time if you were gonna give me any of these 3 ALL decks. If you told me
even
pick,
quintuplets here.
Yeah, I'd probably rather play Door. Maybe Adventure Time's better than quintuplets. I would be like, maybe just because Demon Bloodsword and Finn and Jake is a better top end. But I think the package around 8 Door is just probably more appealing in Adventure Time as a whole. Better 0, better 1. Mid game still sucks, but whatever.
Alright, A standby. C or D.
This deck sucks.
C
you
or
can't
D.
play this deck with actual standby decks running around. It's D tier. Fuck this deck. You are not playing this deck.
You have memory,
standby deck.
and you have like a global 1500. That's all you have.
Yeah.
But then your finisher is like kind of weird for like a standby deck.
Yeah, I think Dean played this in English too, and even Dean was like, "This deck sucks. Don't play this deck." And that deck, that's like more behind on their standby meta than we are in JP and JP. Yeah, and I don't really have too much to say about it. I don't like that deck very much at all.
I mean, it's one of the few standby decks that can play a memory engine. But is that memory engine really that
Ooh, no.
If you high roll, it's really good. Like
if you high roll, yeah, you're probably nuts.
Yeah,
but you're also gonna be sitting on 3 hands.
So much fucking. Yeah, but you have no hand.
Well, I don't know what is FSN. I'm pretty sure that's not a Weiss set, dude. Sorry, no, that's not a Weiss set. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I removed it because it's pretty shit in JP with the ban list. It's Moj.
We got Fate Go.
Yeah, dude, we have Fate Go, the best Fate deck in JP. All right, Bane Dream.
Probably like high mid B, right? Like
I'm thinking about probably
above Quinn. I'd probably play this over 8 Door Quins. This deck is really good.
Yeah, it's kind of slowed down.
It could be bottom A, but
I think the meta, like its EP is really nice, but I feel like the meta has changed where it can answer its EP more easily.
Yeah. You can actually scale this card really. You can scale it with like Quince can scale it, Danmachi can scale it.
Soon to be S tier. Yeah, true. This is getting a new set later this year.
Yeah, we'll see.
So
it could be good again.
It has another chance to rise to its once proclaimed S tier.
And then Goichi just got that new card that like actually dunks on the EP2, the blue EP.
Yeah.
That just dunks on this combo or the EP package. Yeah, it deck's good though. I mean, it's still really consistent. It's probably the best Mashu level 1 combo, I think, right?
Yeah. For Mashu combos, but Mashu
its
combos
mid game is good.
Kind of whatever to begin with.
I actually like this. I think I've grown to like this top end more than I like Rimuru.
Okay, I understand.
I think what this ends on, it just feels better than what.
Yeah, you have more relevant targets to summon, but that's kind of helpful because you have fucking like.
Yeah, they just slammed down double defensive scry. Well, they're both from the new set, aren't they? I'm pretty sure the cards you're spawning are both in that same set.
They're both from the new set. Yeah.
So yeah, you put down like double defensive scry.
So after you nut your hand out, you can end on the board that still helps you survive.
Yeah, it's really sick.
Rimuru, after you nut with Rimuru, you sit there.
You nut, you healed a bunch, and you're like, all right, well,
if
kill me.
Yeah, you kill me from 3-0, you kill me from 3-0, I guess.
Yeah, deck's pretty good though.
Charlotte, do you put a D or C?
I think it's still C tier, right? It's like because there'll be the decks that can't out it, but every good deck can just climb it. Like all the top decks can climb it, but you'll still like lose to it if you're not.
Charlotte's kind of like the gatekeeper. It's like it loses to a lot of these decks, but like it shits on like a lot of D tier decks probably.
Yeah. So I think all the decks in the same tier and in the tiers below it, it like bullies really hard. It even bullies Adventure Time actually. I don't know if Adventure Time can deal with now, because you can't bounce them.
Yeah, Demon Blood can bounce at the same time, and he can't bounce.
How does Pants ALL their EP gets like pretty decent, right? And you have a Shimakai as your level 1 combo to like bump extra power. And now, and like all you have to do is be big on defense for Charlotte. You don't even have to be big on offense. If you're big on their first turn attacking, they're taking the L. The only problem you have with like Pants Assault Lily is that you don't burn, so you're just a vanilla swinging deck. But I think you have enough ways to like heal for like pretty cheap because of the back row that you can kind of just leverage that out pretty decently.
Well, I do think Assault Lily is probably one of the worst decks.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the worst decks to play into Charlotte. But like, Charlotte's also losing by queuing into like a lot of other decks. So yeah, you can't beat Quince. You can't beat Mushoku. You like auto lose to DBG.
Yeah, it's a lot of bad matchups.
It's not a good time.
All right, 8 choice Dow.
Probably like C tier, right? I don't think the deck does anything too special.
True.
It's like fine. It slams a choice every turn.
That's about it.
It never really like. It's probably in the same tier as all the other Dow decks.
It doesn't have like a good top end like these ones. Doesn't have a. It has a pretty good level 1, but
Kurumi's cool, modular.
Level 2 game is kind of garbage.
Yeah, you get the what?
You just
playing
looping level 1 again.
Or the Toka, right?
Where's your 2-soul deck? Oh, it's coming right up soon.
Yeah, soon.
8 standby Dow.
I don't think it's better than 8 choice anymore.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Might be like.
I think because you still can run the Yoshino. I think Yoshino Adachi's still really strong.
Double 2 Kurumi, Yoshino Adachi with your shitty self-tap brainstorm.
Yeah, dude.
So every time you play a standby, you have to just purposely leave an open lane net. You can't.
You're sitting there thinking, okay, I can't defend lanes with straight
your
power.
things are all
I'm defending lanes
standby.
with Yoshino.
Dude, actually, you're just a field swap. That's so sad.
What does 8 Dow look like? You play tap self brainstorm, you play Yoshino, you play your.
You slam 4 Yoshino Adachis now. Oh no.
What do you think about Kaguya post-ban? We'll get to that shortly.
We're gonna get to that, don't worry.
Just stick around and we'll talk about that. We're going one at a time based on that set code.
Oh no, that deck is so suffering. Holy shit.
Do you want to put do you think it's worse than any standby Adventure Time?
It might be. Does it do anything special now besides field swap?
Yoshino is a powerhouse though.
Okay, maybe it's better than 8 standby Adventure Time, but it's probably still D tier. I think it is better than 8 standby. It's better than Adventure Time because of Yoshino, because I think 8 standby Adventure Time is like the vanilla standby deck.
Choice standby Dow.
Probably next to 8 choice. Right. Might be better, might be worse. I don't know. 2 Kurumis is kind of cringe.
2 Kurumi is sad, but now you can play Shido. I mean Milo Shido with Kurumi.
True, that's pretty sick. Okay, I put it like above 8 choice probably. Getting to play that is pretty sick. Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice little thing to it.
All right, you want your 2-soul deck? Here we go. They became a god.
A tier.
A tier. I think he's better than this assault choice. A choice assault.
I mean, I hate DBG.
DBG is probably like top A.
Really?
It's like such an annoying deck to play against, dude. And when you open and you look at your hand, you see so many CXs. That's when it's over, dude. It's
I don't
GG
know.
game
It's
over.
like
it's still a confident deck even if your opponent does cancel a bit.
Yeah, it's like, but it's just the nature of 2-soul, right? It's like if your opponent gets to high roll their first deck because you're slamming 2 souls, it's literally a coin flip. You can literally steal a game, or you can just like hand the game over to your opponent, and you just accept that.
If this was like a 1k1 level 1, it's probably like low A. But because it's 2-soul, sometimes just scum wins, dude.
Yeah, being a 2-soul matters for this deck, I think, like pretty big. It helps you in the standby matchups too, like Mushoku. When you can't climb them, you can still side the 1/1s and like keep the soul low for Mushoku. Because you don't really compress in this deck, right? You like spend your stock like pretty liberally.
Yeah, that's why you play like you compress with memory.
Yeah, you're like 4 memory, sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably leave it. It's definitely like a higher A tier deck. I don't know if I'd say top of A, but it depends what we choose to put above it, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see what we put, but I think it's definitely high A, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's you just lose to Hina. Hina's very scary unless you play against Danmachi or the Mirror.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Quintuplets plays events. Mushoku
Yeah,
plays
they play
events
3
too,
though,
but they
whatever.
played 3 of events.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The ones that matter is the Mirror and Danmachi for events.
Pretty good level finisher.
Yeah.
Lots of utilities because you have lots of cards that grabs other cards.
Good selection for your like utility cards too. You also get that hexproof assist. That card's
That
so
is
sick.
quite nice. I kind of hate that. And my
Yeah,
opponent
that-
knows what
that's
they're
like-
doing and they can grab that for the matchups. Like when I'm playing Mushoku and they grab that, I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah, that card's sick. I like that card a lot.
And there's so many ways to grab it too.
No, they'll have it. The only time they don't have it is if they just like blank and they just forget.
They
Or
either
he goes to, like, the
don't
top of their
think
stock or
about grabbing
something.
it or just don't run it
Yeah.
for some reason. For whatever reason,
If
you
you- I
don't run
mean,
it.
if you're not running it, that's cringe because it also bonds to your yellow pendant.
Yeah,
So
it's like unnecessary one of.
yeah. Alrighty. I don't know anything about this next deck, so I hope you know about it.
Newspaper to Capo. I play against some of it. It's like, you know, you got a cool finisher. You can. What was it? Your finisher can be a on reverse burn 3 and an on attack burn 2. It has anti event to top
Okay.
end. You have hand on core, and you just loop your book. Okay, this is the book level 1, but you can loop your book combo. You can play your
You play
finisher
a
with
finisher
zero
with
stock.
0 stock?
There was a card that does that, I remember correctly, yeah.
Really? Oh, that's pretty neat.
Where you can just sack the character to play from hand.
Alright, is it better than Bang Dream?
Is it better Bang Dream? I would probably say it's around here.
Like, because if you
You
had
do
to
have memory
choose the-
compression.
Okay, Neil said he thinks it's better than Bang Dream. I'll give Neil's the benefit of the doubt. He did pretty well with it at the Nova tournament too, right? Like the WGP and stuff. So I believe in him.
Although I only have a short experience of this from my locals.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm gonna defer to Neil that it's at least better than Bang Dream. That's good enough to me.
Now we have the Setokai deck. Where you play the
It has pay 2 free for it. It's pretty sick. Pay 2 free
we
for it's
play
good.
the Rika level 1 into the Ultimate EP package and get all the memory stuff. I think it's probably worse
That's like
than...
the Otome EP, like the one that was like the meta spooky.
Yeah.
Okay, so Neil says it's the worst one. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we want
yeah,
to put a
sounds
C
good to
or do
me,
we
Neil.
think it's B?
Hey Neil, what do you think? What do you think, Neil? We'll defer this to you. Do you think it's like it's better than? Is it worse than Adventure Time? But is it better than Charlotte? Good. Charlotte's the gatekeeper of C. Charlotte's top of C no matter what. It's the gatekeeper. No.
Okay, we'll put here.
It's
You still have the
not better than
problem
Charlotte?
where
Okay.
your level 1 is tiny as fuck, so you just crash
You
it in
just slam
everywhere.
Yeah, and you
Your
gotta-
level
it
0s are
depends on memory.
kind of bad, but it's for free memory. It's free
Okay,
memory.
he said it's better than Adventure Time. I give Otome's probably has its own merit, right? That card's like hexproof or whatever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you got Ramorous now too. Okay. 6. Okay.
True.
That's
Got
fine.
Rammer support, so we'll
Alright,
see.
we'll leave it there,
We'll
that's
leave
fine.
it here for now. Probably bottom would be.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that deck, but
All right.
I mean, this is probably the best of the DeCapo decks, still, right?
Anniversary the Capel.
Like, I feel like this is the one that I have the most experience with, at least.
Your level 1's pretty garbage, and your level 2's pretty garbage.
Well, they're just playing the Maguro now, right?
Are they playing Magro
But
now?
is he?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
might be
they're
playing
playing
E-Choice
E-Choice.
now. But still, it's like your deck kind of does nothing
Yeah,
until level
But
3.
but Himari's just so broken. Himari's still like one of the best finishers.
I kind of want to put it here. I don't think it's better than these.
No? Okay, that's fine. I just really like the finisher, but yeah, if the other deck has like a better mid game, I think that matters a lot in the scheme of things. Okay.
It's
worse
worse than book
I'll believe
choice.
you, Neil.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Smosh, how the mighty have fallen. And when this was the S tier best deck in game.
I don't know about best deck, but it's definitely S tier.
Well, no, I meant DC. When DC was like when that deck was the
Oh,
best.
you meant these. I
And
thought we were
book
talking
choice
about
DC.
Damachi already.
No, Danmachi's probably top 5.
Yeah.
I think this deck is really fun to play.
Really strong,
It's super consistent.
but it's also kind of
It's-
hard to
it's-
play.
It has a higher skill. Yeah, I've had a really hard time with this deck. It's like
I was watching my
you have to make a
friend
lot of
struggle.
decisions.
I had my friends. I was watching one of my locals play, and it's like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
decisions you gotta know.
yeah,
how, you gotta
I've
make.
started I've been like grinding the deck pretty hard, and like I think I'm only just starting to get the hang of it. But when you have those games, when you do it right and you make the right decisions, you know you made the right decisions because you like you feel so strong the whole game. You're just like canceling, you're refreshing your deck, you're looping your heal.
You have so much mill, so much selection, so much utility.
And your stock is if you can keep your stock
power.
clean too, like oh my god, it's so good.
So much deck manipulation.
Yeah. Let's see. Is Danmachi fun to play against?
If you're playing a standby deck,
fine. If you're not playing standby.
Yeah. If you're playing Mushoku and you do not want to see Danmachi.
Yeah. Same with Quince. Quince is
fine because like the anti-run is not that bad.
Yeah, you're expecting,
and you expect your stuff to die anyway.
Yeah, the anti-run versus Mushoku though is like you're ready to just put a gun to your head. That card, the anti-run, is the sickest card. The Hestia Rize having that effect is
and it's
the
common, dude. Why is that card common?
I know.
Oh my god.
I legit just I had a game against Kaguya where I played that card like 5 times in a row. I just went like your 2/2 can't move. Play it again, your 2/2 can't move. Play it again, your other thing can't move. And I'm just like nope. It's so much fun, and you always have it because it's a 0, so you can always grab it with like Firebolt or whatever. And then your powers are just so high. Yeah, you get to like you get to like 15, 16k with your level 1. So like even if your opponent can counter over you, you're taking a dub for that because you didn't spend anything. Pyongkichi's free, Bell's free. You got a card out of it. You're having a good time. Oh, yeah, you do feel like you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh though, playing Danmachi. You're like taking those like 2-3 minute turns. that is actually a problem with that deck though. But I think this deck is like probably a top 5. It's probably better than Door ALL. Probably worse, maybe worse than Book Pants ALL. I'm not sure. Your top end in ALL is better, but I think what
Danmachi does is like
0-1 is like, yeah.
And it's not for the meta, it's like really strong.
Yeah, it might be better than Book Pants just because of its costless like power. And Belsic.
Go. I'm thinking
this deck's good.
But
it's probably high B.
That good?
High B, low A, for sure. Deck's good. It's
nice. You have a strong EP.
You have an AK tobacco, which is like it's an acceptable time where I will play a tobacco, right? Your zero is lacking. That is the worst part of this deck, but it's still like more than fine. You get a good amount of deck speed because you can play like the event package or whatever.
Who's the gatekeeper? We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I don't know what it is. But I think Lion King is really strong as just a card, and the choice is just there to be a choice. I don't think you ever slam the choice very often unless you just have it. Yeah. What you're actually doing is you're just playing both door combos, and you're using the Bedivere as your top end because the Bedivere level 3 is really good at ending the game, and he's very cost efficient because you can play him down. He keeps your Lion Kings big. He's a global 15.
Bang Dream Gatekeeper.
It might be. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's better than Bang Dream, worse than Bang Dream. But I think what this deck does is really cool because it gets to play the Lion King EP. The only problem is that Lion King EP is kind of slow because it's only 1 a turn. But it has like a good support and foundation around it, where I think it's fine.
But it is one per turn, so it's like your board is not that scary.
But it is a costless top end.
It's not like Mirai Ticket where you can summon like
you're getting
2 huge bodies or maybe even 4 huge bodies.
But this is 3 stock and then 2 stock every subsequent turn, which like, isn't that bad, right? And if it survives, it's sick.
But it's like, how's your utility grab it? You don't have like Yo, which can easily tutor for it.
What do you have? You have camera. You have
camera's like okay selection.
Camera.
It probably hits
door. You have choice. I mean, you can loop the camera too, right? It's like a bondable camera, so it's like fine. It's like playing Azusa. Yeah, your selection isn't the best. Tobacco is your combo. It's usually enough to get you there, but we've seen with like Rushia and stuff that tobacco is not the preferred when it comes to selection. So it is probably a little worse. But I still think what this deck offers, and it's like mid to late game, is still pretty good though. Even if it's level 0 is like lacking.
And it's level 1 is like mediocre.
Yeah, I would probably put it like high B.
All right,
Deck's
A choice
sick, though.
Grisaya. Playing low B.
It's somewhere. It's probably next to Himari. It's like the same kind of deck as Himari. It's like all in on its top end, but if it gets to the top end, you're probably dead. Maybe it might be better than Himari only because you have anti-heal as like an actual.
True, anti-heal buff. Let's go. Anti-heal.
You're not as good as like Door Pants Grisaya, which I'm still kind of mad. Door Pants is the best deck, but it is what it is, right?
Anti-heal buff. Let's go.
Yeah, anti-heal buff. And your top end is really good.
Oh wait, maybe Grisaya is the gatekeeper B tier.
Like
Door Pants.
you think Door Pants is like a B tier deck? I was gonna say it was like low A tier.
I think it's low A.
It
It could be. But I was thinking
heals?
it could be more like a gatekeeper.
It could be. It might be. I don't know. Deck's really good though. Not that many things need to reverse at level 1, so JC doesn't matter. JC doesn't matter. Anti-heal doesn't matter too much right now, right? Like, what vanilla heals? Actually, more decks are
Stock
vanilla
healer?
healing now, right?
This one doesn't really care about healer because it plays towards
well,
mine, so
Sure, but it's healing. It does care, but it still heals.
these are like
right? Well,
this
those are both raw
this one
healers.
matters probably.
All three of the ALL decks are raw healers.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it matters against Book Pants a lot, because all their shit's just raw. Both their healers are raw healers.
Yeah.
DBG doesn't get the heal, which I think is a big downside to Hina. Right? We like I'm pretty sure that's like actually one of the things they don't want to play against.
Low A.
Just skimming the later decks. It hurts Rushia, hurts Coco, hurts New Gochi.
Here's
hurts
my
Niji.
take of Grisaya. Early aggression is like not his favorite anymore compared to like.
Well, every deck can do it
Sarkana
now.
Middle,
That's
yeah.
the only issue, right?
And a lot of decks you kind of actually want to slow roll into.
Yeah, I guess
Especially-
Grisaya can't slow roll very well. Their
Yeah.
EP healers still suck.
Kind of want to have it, and
Yeah, I
you're
think
level
top
2. Yeah,
of
your
is
level
good.
2 game is still so fucking bad.
Yeah, if they had given this an actual like on color early play, I think it would have been a better deck, but they didn't.
And your selection,
us the crappy yellow
still
one.
not having the event means your selection is like all in the tobacco event.
Well, I think healing in Assault Lily is like pretty important. Because it's so cheap now. But the EP heal to stock is green, and they don't play green anymore. Green has become like a far less desired color. So they play the new blue healer instead.
That's
Because
why
that
that
card is
card's pretty expensive.
That
now.
card is your experience condition. That card is itself just really good. It's just it's weak on power, and it also synergizes with the back row that they play. So you just play that card and move on.
Oh, do you want to put a low A? Do we want to put a high B?
We can leave a top of B for now. We can
Top
leave a
of
top
B?
of B for now.
Okay, the
Yeah,
other
I think it's
side
fine.
that goes.
That deck's fucking shit. D tier, honestly. Like
D.
card is stinky.
No,
Deck's stinky.
anti-heal buff, anti-heal buff, anti-heal
Fine,
buff.
fine, anti-heal.
Anti-
fine.
anti-
That deck
anti-heal
sucks.
This
dude.
level 0 is so bad because you play so many shitty ass level 0. Your snowball potential is not even that amazing.
Yeah,
compared
it's
to
so
other
cool.
standby decks.
It is so cool though.
It is
what
quite
that
cool.
deck
When you combo off of
And
the
do
finisher,
is so sick.
your like combo turn is kind of insane.
Like yeah, getting like the restand the Amine with all the burns, so it makes it really hard to miss, is so sick. But getting to there is so impossible. That it's like, I wanted that deck to be so good. I really wanted to believe it was gonna be sick because it looked so cool.
So many garbage cards in order to
You
make
need
this
to do
work.
so much effort.
It's not like this where you just loop a good cards. You just play a bunch of good cards and then say that you're level 2 shit.
Mhm.
But you have anti-heal to make up for it. That shit was so hard to pilot the first
Yeah.
time. Yeah, it's also
Yeah.
hard to pilot that.
Oh yeah,
too,
when you're trying to learn it, you're just like, what is happening? Oh god, that deck's so funny.
Thank you,
It is
Mutsumi.
fun though.
Oh, thank you,
It is very fun, though.
Mutsumi746 for the follow.
All right. So let's leave it there for now. That's fine. Anti-heal buff. It still gets to play anti-heal. That's the best part of the
Anti-heal
deck.
buff. You play anti-heal, you immediately get buffed a tier.
Keg W reprinting anti-heal so they can ban Grisai's anti-heal. Deck's not good enough.
True.
XD.
All right, 8 pants Gochi. We'll put it A.
Probably A tier.
Yeah.
That deck's sick.
It's not at the high. It's not as good as
Okay.
Assault League, but it is still
So,
like a very scary.
Part of
deck.
me wants to say this deck is better than DBG. Especially with the new stuff in context. So hear me out, right? You now have an actual mid game in this deck.
Mhm.
You have 3 really sick early plays.
Mhm.
2 of them are really good against standby as well. Or like
Mhm.
one is really good against standby. Like one like just like hoses
Mhm.
standby decks, right?
Mhm.
Your zero game is already cracked. Gochi's zero game has never been bad. You have your level 1 game is still it's an AK is like a I think it's an AK tobacco. Pretty sure it's AK, right?
It's a tobacco. That's all I remember.
Yeah, it's a tobacco. That's the worst part about it, but I'm pretty sure it is still like an AK tobacco. Maybe it's 7.5, but you get a lot of really good utility cards. You get Compass. Their Compass is really sick. Because it's like the
2K pump as
it
well.
gives 4K pump,
Oh,
yeah.
4K pump as well. Yes,
4K pump. If you hit the climax, it's a 4K pump. So you can like steal boards off of that card. And I think Compass is like one of those things you never really get to have. So getting to have it is like really sick. Yes, it's an AK tobacco. Okay. Then you have this top end, like Aoyama as a top end is really strong.
Mhm.
Like really, really strong.
Mhm.
And I think now being able to also pivot onto the new Chino might also be really strong. Because I think that card
Maybe.
now gives you I think that card's good. I think that combo is like really, really strong. But I think it makes it harder to now read Gochi because now Gochi has like multiple good top ends to be playing.
And have a Ricky.
They have a Ricky now, which is really good for the deck because they needed it. And so you have 2 scary top ends, and like they have tools towards that top end as well, which I think is really good.
Mhm.
So, in conclusion, I think this deck is better than DBG because DBG's mid game is garbage.
Right, here's my counter argument. Two
And this
soul.
deck is 8 pants, so it gets the same climaxes. Yeah, but this is 8 pants.
Two soul.
What happened to the remember your statistic that you did that said every good deck had pants and or bar
True.
or 8 standby?
Okay, maybe the new stuff bumps it higher. But two soul.
Yeah, dude, like the new stuff is really good. That new EP in a standby meta outs 2 lanes.
I don't think it'll be S tier, that's for sure. I think it's still.
And you also have the
below
Cherry,
Assault
right?
Lily.
No, I don't think it's S tier. I don't think
Yeah.
it's S tier. But
Right. Top
you also
three?
have the stick.
Oh,
You have the stick 2K pump Cherry.
We'll say it's higher than DBG then for now.
I don't know. Like I still don't know. We'll
Yeah,
talk
it's
about
still
the next
new,
one later, which one's
So
good.
it's hard
But,
to say. But I mean, this is not too
My
new.
personal bias says it's like, yeah, that deck has been in existence and it's been seeing a lot of results where DBG is not.
It like got a minor buff. Like I mean, it got a nice buff. Like,
Okay, it got a pretty decent.
Yeah, like a 2-card buff, dude. You got Ricky
No, they got 3 cards. You got 2 new early plays
and Ricky.
and Ricky. You also got you got something else too. Or and you get the new top end if you want it. But Aoyama as a deck got like 3 cards.
All right.
Bar choice.
Hard choice. This is hard to evaluate because this is literally they got a lot of support. This
Yeah,
one
so
got
they
a lot
got-
of support.
They got a JC. They got an assist to the choice top end that they choose to play,
A new EP.
and they got a Chiori.
and
I
a
think
Chiori.
this deck is probably like mid to low A now. I think this deck is actually like real.
And it's better
was
than
lacking-
choice. I think it might be better
Yeah,
than
I do.
choice. Yeah.
I think it's better than any choice. ALL. This deck is like its 0 is now like cracked. It has like almost every good profile you could like ask for a 0 to have. It has a real Chiori, not a level 1 or higher Chiori, which I think matters a lot.
Oh.
Nice. And then Chia Sharo in general has gotten a lot of the staple profiles given to them. They have free fresh. They like a free fresh counter. They have anti-change counter. They have like all these like really good effects. They have a good early play that gets like to like good power.
And it's defendable.
And
too.
now, yeah, and their top end heals and it's cheap. And now they have a card that can like supplement their top end by giving them like a way to somewhere to stack it for like the extra damage.
Mhm.
I think it adds up to this deck just being like very, very strong.
True.
While being still like very like basic though. Like it doesn't do anything like insane. There's no like weird thing. It's like a very straightforward deck, but I think that's like still really good to have.
Oversized JC is nice for looping.
Yeah. And it fits into the axe package. Oh, the Cheery's fucking broken. That thing comes to soul.
You know, it gains a soul. It gains a soul.
I mean, it pumps itself a soul, but yeah.
Yeah.
That card's cracked.
So yeah, more utility. Better mid game now because you have better cards. You don't have to spend. You can spend more on mid game because your top end is so cheap to start to begin with. Has a finisher.
I mean, you've always done it like that. Yeah.
So it's definitely a lot more upgrade. It's probably not.
It's
definitely not the 8
combo.
pants level. Probably.
No. It might be close though. It could be.
But it's definitely
just on how straightforward it is. But you're still
might be second best Gucci deck.
You're having a.
You think so? We'll talk about.
I think you still have a hard time against standby, which I think is a pretty big deal. That's like the biggest buff to 8 pants over like any other Gochi deck is its ability to deal with standby versus the other decks.
Ricky's a good guy and a good card. That is true. Everyone loves Ricky.
Ricky is a good guy.
But you know, doesn't get to use.
Bardor's fucking C tier, dude. That deck fucking sucks now. If I have to like, okay, realistically, it's probably like a B tier deck. But when I have to look at this deck and say, am I playing this versus any other Gochi deck? No, I'm not playing this versus any other Gochi deck anymore.
What about Pants Store? Cocochino. It's probably.
You mean 8 pants, right?
No, we're talking about specifically Cocochino.
You mean 8 pants, right?
No, this is what Yavi told me. He's like, Cocochino's cracked. You still have your pants level 1. You can play Shimikaze. You know, you have Yureki now. Go on, you have Ricky now.
All right, look. If I'm being real, I actually think the Shimikaze in this deck is better than other Shimakazes because you have enough ways to pump power.
Why is it better than Project Set guy? Shimikaze. Or I can spawn another Shimikaze.
Oh no, that card sucks though. Isn't it like weak though?
I don't remember, dude. We'll talk about it on our actual set review show, but
true. All right, Cheeto gets to what, like 8-5 with a Cheery pump. That's not bad. I think that's like more than respectable enough to find a reverse in the early mid game. I don't like Cocochino as a top end very much. I mean, we like Hina, but Hina's like a bit different, obviously.
You have a new EP healer, don't forget too.
And this isn't heal.
Yeah, but you have a new EP healer though.
New EP healer doesn't matter. You're still just playing the Chino, dude. I'm a believer in you're just playing the Chino from Bloom.
Oh yeah, I guess you saw my Killua WSWordPress.com. Yeah, I do that every week. I'm gonna look at some top decks that gets played.
Most Sundays.
I try to do it Sunday. There's no exact time on Sundays. I just do it whenever I'm free on Sunday. Usually.
Or unless he forgets.
Yeah, if I get really busy Sunday, then I'll do it Monday, hopefully.
Yeah, let me see. Deck's probably like. Okay, I would rather play Bardor over Cocochino.
Yeah. Do you think Gochi gets past the Charlotte tax? The Charlotte
you can
check.
If you pay for Cocochino, you can climb. You can climb the world.
True, you can climb the world, but it's getting there.
But you can't front.
But it's getting there.
Okay, Pants Door. I don't know if you beat the Charlotte. I think you lose it to the Charlotte Litmus test.
Okay, do you beat the Dow?
Yeah, you beat the Dow Litmus test. You beat that. You beat Dow.
So
you're better than Dow.
Bottom C.
I think it's better than 8 choice. I'd rather play that over 8 choice Dow.
Okay.
But now if we're talking pants, like 8 pants Rabbit House, I think that deck is next to the other two. But
you haven't tested that, so I don't care.
Yeah, but I believe. I think that deck has like, that deck's real. I believe it.
Thank you, Mutsumi746 for the Prime Gaming sub. Yeah, we haven't had the sub in a while.
True. We've resubbed.
Even though we had a resub just earlier
we had
today.
resub. Thanks, Al. All right.
Here's what everyone's waiting for. All the fucking Hololive.
I thought people were waiting for Kaguya.
Are people? There's one person waiting for Kage, but I'm pretty sure everyone here is waiting for where we put all the whole live Coco deck.
This is like the worst one, or second worst one, right?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean it's still good. I think it's probably like a B tier deck. It's like the best part of this deck, I think, is its ability to like play with Tame EPs.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Marine can play that deck better. Can still play that game plan better.
Yeah, I think anywhere where Coco sees plays, Marine is
just better. Yeah.
Just a better deck.
Like Coco heals, which is the best part about her, but her combo is so inconsistent and the ceiling is so low.
I hate Icy Tail finishers. Yeah. Like even Riri's cracked. That's the difference. Riri's a crack.
Yeah, Riri just moves through so many cards.
Coco is like, if you mill what if you mill 3 CXs? You still get a bird 1.
Well,
and you have the reverse.
The argument is the argument is if you mill 3 CXs, they're still out three more climaxes, right?
Like it's like a downgrade version of Riri.
Yeah, because its ceiling is lower overall, and it's on reverse, so you can't even necessarily always benefit from milling all those climaxes. Like, yeah, oh nice, I milled 3 climaxes, but I already attacked, so like, depending on when you actually mill it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, double
Riri UU is 18 cards. Yeah.
18 cards for only 3 stocks. Or two.
Yeah, you got 2 heals. You got 2 heals, and you spent 3. You spent
8 stock. You have to start your turn with 8 stock and 1 extra hand in hand. 1 extra
and you get 4 attacks.
Yeah.
And yeah, you see a 4
Coco
attacks
is like
and
pay 1, dish 1 for every single.
And you have to do upfront.
Icy Tail you want to do.
Yeah, you can't even go like pay 1, ditch 1, do it again. Pay 1, ditch 1, do it again. It's literally you have to just read the situation and say this is how many times I'm committing. And it feels really bad. This card is actually just, feeling in Weiss, Omega Lol, but this card just feels bad. This will either be the sickest top end you play or like literal like garbage. Now Marine though, Marine is consistent. This is a solid A tier deck.
I don't know.
Might be better than 8 Pants Gochi. I think I'd rather play Marine over 8 Pants Gochi. I think
there's 2 main builds for it. You can either play the event build with the gamers event and the Gen 4 event.
You build there's like the gamers / the Gen 4, which I think are 2 separate ones.
I see sometimes they play both.
Do they? Maybe they play both sometimes.
Yeah,
and then
you play some green stuff. You play like Watame. So you play to beat the board and then go.
Yeah, you have a lot of. Maureen has a lot of variations how she plays, which is the best part about her.
Because she digs for combos. digs for cards like events and CXs. She's low cost, very efficient. You're guaranteed to burn some like. Oh, maybe I'll get burn 1 twice.
I think that she pays for her own burns. The only problem is she doesn't heal, so you're a bit more all in.
Which is why the opposite of the high roll build is like the memory build, which has more utility. You can play the Polka for heals. Yeah, you get the memory compression. So even though you're not healing with Maureen herself, you have other avenues to play defensive.
Yeah, and then you just burn with Maureen. You just use Maureen when it's like adequate. It's like, all right, this is towards the end of the game. Let's just try to close it out with Maureen. You don't get the ceiling though. Your ceiling in that deck is a lot lower. The 8, when you're playing the Gen 4 event, your ceiling is really high.
Okay, I actually don't think it's that high. I think it's probably more.
Really? I'd rather play this deck than DBG. I think this deck is like really good. It's not like a meta warping deck or anything though. I mean, if you want to put it below DBG, I think it's fine. This deck has its issues. It has like
maybe it's higher than DBG.
It has some issues.
Lower than Gochi for sure.
Yeah, I'd rather. Yeah. I think Gochi's top. If you're trying to kill somebody, Gochi's top end is probably just more efficient, and it doesn't kill you to do so. But I like Maureen a lot. I think Maureen's versatility is the best part about her. You can't read the deck you're playing against right away. Even if you see the Maureen door, you're just like, all right, that tells me literally nothing.
All right. So standby bar Sora high roll Maisel. I'm thinking high C.
It's probably better than Charlotte.
Yeah, it hits the Charlotte attacks.
Yeah, I mean it's big. It doesn't burn.
It beats the Charlotte gate.
It goes at 2. Coming out at 2 consistently is pretty good. Dude, would I rather play this than Coco? Probably. It loses to Adventure Time though. It does lose to Adventure Time. That is a thing. Demon Blood Sword murders this deck.
Yeah, but we're talking about how good it is in the meta. Do you think it's
True.
better placed than Adventure Time?
Let me think.
Probably not.
Probably not. The top deck's all like kind of.
It's definitely a
Totally.
high roll deck. You can sometimes just coom and just like minus soul.
Yeah, but then if you don't find your
3-4
bar,
times.
you're just there. You EP'd at 1. That's pretty cool. You get like a free turn. You basically have like when you combo, you basically give yourself like 1 free turn to find another bar. But if you don't find that bar, then you're just like
Saying
kinda
the best for last.
falling
Wait,
behind.
never mind. Didn't notice Choco. Yo, Choco.
Alright, yo, choo!
Oh.
I don't know anything about H10 by Quinn. I've like literally had zero desire to ever sleeve this deck up. This
Okay,
deck
so
just
you're
looks
level
so
you're
unappealing.
level 2. You kind of you like play half slime, half Quince, where you summon your
Yeah, because
your
Geld
Gelds
is
and
the,
your worst Gelds in the front row,
the what 3Ks instead of 4.
something like that. And then I think she herself sets like 9K or something.
Luna's the best part of this.
Luna
line,
is
right?
the best part. You know, you get what
The
does she do
baby.
again? She's like
You can't side her. She's like an 11-5 level 0.
she's like damage scry. Or like
Oh, she damage
no,
scry?
not
She was on
damage
the
scry.
first
She's
burn, wasn't she?
actual check and wreck with people like to call
Oh,
it.
when front declared, look at top.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I know she's a Omniverse burn, right? Does she actually have that much text?
And let me read her up specifically.
The only problem is you can bomb
Okay.
her. She's level 0.
Luna is 3-2 11.5k. Gets -3 level on stage, but your opponent cannot side attack against this, so you can't bomb it. When this card's battle point is reversed, you may discard 1 character, burn 1, and with his front attack, you may look at the top card of your deck and put it on the top or into the waiting room. So yeah,
That is pretty sick.
so it's defensive and offensive. Pretty sick. And then, yeah, you can play like Tolwa, Grappling Hook, and stuff like that. Disrupt your opponent's board.
That's cute. Is this better than Slime? Would you rather play 8 Standby Slime or this?
Probably Slime.
Alright, then I'm not gonna rate this very highly. Is it better than Charlotte? Can you wall up against Charlotte?
You can wall up
assume so.
against Charlotte.
You can or you can't?
You can. I mean, Luna is
It's probably better than Charlotte. It's probably B tier, yeah. It's like I think all 3 of these decks are probably around the same tier of like strength. Like I don't think like they're just good decks, right? Like Hololive is still just good cards. You have so many good cards, it's hard to be like really bad.
How do we? We're probably gonna have to trim B though, depending on how this goes.
I mean, being B is good though, right? Being B is like the standard.
Okay. I just
Maybe,
don't like
we'll
how
see,
I
we'll
just
see,
don't
we'll
like
see.
how lopsided tier list looks if there's so much in B compared
Well,
to
it's a
rest.
bell curve, dude.
But it's looking a bit too much in B, if you ask me.
We'll
At
figure
what
it out,
point do
we'll
you have to
figure it out.
split apart what B's are actually C's?
We'll figure it out.
All
We
right.
have time.
Rusia, do we think it's better than Maureen?
I mean, I think Rushi is a top deck.
You
I think Rushi
Rusia's
is actually
S?
meta warping. I mean, I think Rushi is literally a meta warping deck.
Maybe bottom S. I think.
Yeah,
but
maybe
I was
probably
feeling more
bottom
like
S,
top
but-
A.
Really? I think Rushi.
I feel like
think
Rusia sometimes you just have some bad low roll games though.
that's like every deck though. I think Quince and
Yeah, but
Amaji have the same
Rusia,
kind of
the
thing.
moment you whiff Rusia condition, you actually like sit there and be like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah, I mean you do get to argue.
I think
You
just
have-
the
you have
top decks.
tools,
I think the top decks are
Azusa.
just much more consistent. Like these S tier decks are way more consistent than what Rusia does. I do think Rusia is meta warfare.
I mean,
so maybe
Rusia is
she's
the-
bottom
I think-
S.
I think Rushia is. I'm almost like inclined to say Rushia is a better top end than all of these decks
Possibly.
because Rushia is alive at 2, and she's gassing you constantly.
But I think she's like
Wait.
less consistent than
And this less consistent, sure, but does less consistent mean you're like that much worse?
Yes.
Because it doesn't have to be a
Yes.
trade-off, right? Like
when you're
your
playing
mid-game
Weiss
is-
Schwarz and it's an RNG game, consistency matters a
Mm.
lot.
How do the S tier decks out Rushia? Doesn't she have swap and hand on core? She does not have swap. She has hand on core and she is really, really big.
But sometimes you just lose to yourself playing this deck.
That is the problem. That is a big thing. The only deck in this top 5 that can realistically threaten her is Danmachi.
Wait, Quintuph was I've won all my games against my locals playing whole.
Really? I feel like
I mean, it's because I'm playing Adachi and the clock kick back row.
Alright, sure. When you're playing Adachi and clock kick back row, sure, you could probably do it.
I have no problem.
Realistically, though, I think on average, Quint will have a harder time. Danmachi is the only, and even then, Danmachi can't remove it. Danmachi can just scale it. So maybe Quint is like the only one that can actually like access like realistic hard removal. Because again, Danmachi will just scale you with 1/0s and just be like, okay, sick. But then, is that always good either? Because you're scaling Rushia, they hand on core, and now you're giving them level 1s they can side if they want to. And then you can like shuffle back whatever you want on Danmachi if they choose to not move. If they don't move through their deck, because they can't move through their deck.
Danmachi right? is a deck that can move through their deck the fastest.
No. Okay, but the problem is, if they move through their deck, they cannot kill you. Because you are based on your events in grave. So if they go, okay, I'm going to scale your Rushias with my bells. Alright, have fun, good luck, dude. You're gonna leave me with a small deck, I'm gonna side your level 1s, and I'm gonna shuffle back a bunch of cards. Right? Like, that's an issue. That's like a real issue.
Unless you attack with three cards left in deck.
Sure, but then you don't win one of the lanes. One of those lanes will never win.
Maybe
it's fine if you can
if you answer the first turn Rushia, all you need to do is beat over 2.
Sure, yeah, but it doesn't matter because they're just gonna hand on core. But the issue still stands. I think you can't remove Rushia, and that's like the biggest issue most decks have in the game right now. Is a lot of decks are not playing the tools to out Rushia and keep her off the board.
Do you think she would?
I do think the consistency is a little bit bad. I mean, it might be the gatekeeper best here. It might be. I mean, okay. Would you actually rather play Dora Salt Lily over Rushia?
Possibly.
Maybe Pants. Maybe
Possibly.
Pants. Because I think Pants is like a far more consistent deck than Dora is.
Possibly.
But like, Rushia will steal more games than DBG will steal games.
Possibly.
I have won so many games.
Just because your opponent could
eight Dora Salt Lily isn't a real deck. What?
Just because they can't get through their deck. Yeah.
Yeah, they can't. If they ever can't get through their deck, and a lot of decks in the game right now, I don't think have very good deck speed.
A lot of times I lose just cause.
I mean, sure. That's like.
I feel like I lose to myself more Rushia than these.
I don't feel that way very often. Actually,
I've seen people lose to themselves playing this against me too.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It definitely happens because of how your early play condition works. But like, I don't know. It doesn't strike me as anything much different than other decks losing to themselves, right? It just feels bad because you're an EP focused deck. So, there's the decks when they can't find their combo, they lose. Rushia is, I want to make my board at 2, and if I can't make my board at 2, it feels bad. But then Rushia still has the ability to be a top end that even when you miss, will just win a game because of how gross the shuffle back 5 when shuffle back 4 when you slam a climax is, right? I just think Rushia is really fucking gross. I think Coronet makes it so it can be really hard to not get it. It does feel bad when you don't. The game when you don't really stick with you.
I think sometimes you just don't find Coronet stuff. Can't combo.
Okay, I don't really have that issue. So having like 4 Azusa and everything, I don't think I've like ever actually had that come up because I put 3 drop search, drop salvage, Azusa. Like, the only thing you can't find is the choice sometimes, and that happens. But I'm also playing double climax swap.
True,
you get there.
Double climax.
Like, I don't know. I think this deck is. I just think Rushia is like, Rushia is a deck that if you can't answer her, you're losing. Like, you can argue, oh, you can just slam vanilla swings into her. Yeah, sure, dude. You slam your climax and you slam at Rushia all you want. If you ever get the free turn, you can just heal loop.
What's the early play condition? Okay, so they have a level assist where if you have the brainstorm, you can tap the level assist and a brainstorm, and you can just play Rushia from hand, starting from level 2.
And then her climax combo is when you play the pants, you can choose a character in your waiting room. You may either put it onto your field, or you may put it into your hand. If you put it onto your field, the card you spawn is given 2,500 power till the end of your opponent's turn. If you put it in your hand, you shuffle 4 cards from your opponent's waiting room back into their deck.
So yeah, plus well, be also decompressing.
And then you're also threatening. And then your tap counter is a hand-intensive tap counter with being ditched 4 characters. So Rushia pays to tap counter basically. Her combo funds her tap counter, and also decompresses the opponent.
Also, Rushia's best girl in whole life.
Corone's best girl in whole life, but
we both have our 2 best. We have our 2 best girls together.
Yeah, being together, being the best is sick. But
you think it's better than Al?
I think
Assault Lily?
So, I think what Assault Lily does, is very strong, and it cannot be undersold. I think how strong Assault Lily is. I do think I would be more inclined to say at bare minimum, book pants is probably better because it's just like super duper consistent, and it's very what's the best word? It's like it always has like clean stock. It can get really really big, and it can even like scale Rushia's at least on offense, which is like more than fine.
So much high selectivity.
Yeah, you just have really high selectivity. Your deck speed might be an issue though, but you have free fresh counter, which is like at least you can at least have free fresh counter, select for free fresh counter, and be able to threaten free fresh counter, which is probably good enough. Where I'd probably put those 2 decks at least like really close to each other personally. Door has the the RNG flippy top end, and I don't think has the mid game to like be as good. Its mid game is like you can agree to, right? Door's mid game is like really shitty. And that's the only reason I would be like, I don't want to say this is worse than Door Assault Lily, because I would rather take Choice Pants Hololive than Door Assault Lily to an event anytime.
Okay.
But I think, if we wanted to only have like 4 S tier decks or something, Assault Lily could be top of A. Like Door Assault Lily could be top of A. We were leaning on before anyway. But I just think Urushi is also just meta warping, and I think that's something that we can't undersell. That if your deck is not playing ways to answer Rushia, yes, there will be the games where Rushia will lose to herself, but you will be throwing your games against Rushia, not playing into her properly, right?
True.
Think like Otome. Like Otome de Capo did have the same issue, where if you weren't playing your outs to Otome, you lost. You were just, I can't out this card.
Unless he hit the low row.
How do I consistently loop Rushia combo when playing Corne Rushia? Well, you're just playing pants, so because you're
she has hand on acquired, that's why.
Yeah, she has hand on acquired. She doesn't leave. I think he means climax, like having the actual climax itself.
Oh, we play 2 Watame CX swapper, and we play 1 Watame 3/2 that's how much the CX.
Yeah, so when you hit 3, you can basically always have the CX for 3 stock. And you always just like, whenever you don't have a CX swapper in your hand, you're always death gripping a CX swapper. And then you have the you got, like, as stupid as it sounds, draw brainstorm helps a lot.
There was times where I hit 1 or 2 off draw brainstorm and draw the pants. I'm just like, cool, I won the game. You don't have to
draw the pants. You draw the I mean, I've had that happen too, and it's the best feeling in the world. But even just having draw brainstorm be able to draw you a climax period will mean that you can hit a pants. So you do have a harder time looping your combo over the pants decks, but I think everything else that deck offers in terms of the raw consistency towards Rushia makes it more appealing than just playing like A pants and just being able to like loop Rushia more consistently. Choice also funds a lot of your stuff. It lets you play more greedy level 0, 1 and fix bad problems in your deck by spending all your stock, because like Choice can supplement your stock cost. And you only need 3 stock to Rushia, which is like,
yeah, I hate that. Sometimes I like my opponent's like, man, you're having quite a bad game. But I look at their stocks like, he still has enough to go off.
Yeah. He can Rushia. He has 3 times sick. He can resolve Rushia. This sucks.
I'm saying there's like, don't have the pieces. You better not have the pieces, you motherfucker.
Then they go slam flare, and you're just like, fuck.
Fuck. Don't have pants, dude. Don't have pants in your hand.
No, they always have the pants. They don't when they have the combo, they always have the pants. Every time. Yeah. Rushi is sick. I love that deck. It's a bully deck though, so I don't play it at locals anymore because I don't want people to feel bad.
Shiny mess.
This deck does not pass the Charlotte test. Even though I lost to this deck on King of the Hill on Friday.
It kind of does something.
Does it?
Does nothing, I mean.
Yeah, it does nothing.
It's
it
like
has an AK Obro.
consistent, and it does nothing all game.
Yep, it AK Obros you. If that's good enough, sick.
I mean, they have a cheap finisher, I guess, you know.
Yeah, but it also can't.
They play 8 finishers.
It's not very big. It's nice that you can like diversify your finisher. I guess. It's good at 2-turning. It can be. I mean, finding the choice is a problem, I guess. You have that sick Azazel alarm. That card's really cool. Like you're like a very average deck. I don't think you do anything bad, but you don't do anything
Meaningful.
Yeah, you're not a deck anybody has to look at and like worry about. They're not gonna be like, oh no, I'm playing against shiny colors. What are they gonna? How can they hose me in any way? No, they can't. If your deck doesn't reverse, they can't do anything to you. They can't hurt you. It's okay.
Alright, Kaguya. I'm thinking bottom A.
This deck's good.
I'm
like
not bottom A, but like low A. Maybe mid A.
It's probably better than Choice. It's bare minimum. It's probably better than Choice Assault Lily. I don't know if it's better than Bar Choice Gochi though, but maybe it is. But
you got hit.
Kind of sucked.
Yeah, your zero did get a lot worse. But unlike Psychono, your replacement is like not horrendous.
The Ishigami's good.
Yeah, Ishigami is still fine card to play, and you're now playing 2 more copies of the runner you're already playing. That's also really good already.
Slam 4 bomb. The bomb runner was already good. Yeah.
Yeah, bomb runner is already really good, but you didn't max it out because you were playing a even more cracked runner.
A clean cut runner. Ooh. But yeah, I think this deck is still really good. Japan is proving that this deck is really good. You know, they're still playing this deck, and this deck is
it's
still
not
seeing a lot
top
of success.
3 anymore, but it's definitely not dropping down to B.
Yeah, it's at least probably like a top 10, top 15 minimum. This deck's still like, you know, Kaguya top end is still really good. Yes. Kaguya's mid game is untouched.
Yeah, you still have Shirogana, you still have Kaguya top end, you still have...
Your level 1 is a little worse, because you don't have the convenience of the Ricky.
The 2k pump, but now you just max out more in the drop search.
Yeah, you play the runner, but
drop search and runner.
The drop search and the runner.
So you basically have the same amount of pumps as before. So your level 1 game is basically not that much different.
It's slightly worse, right? Because you
slightly
have to attack with an Ishigami to pump.
You have to attack with the Ishigami too. You can't just
that's the biggest issue.
Play down.
Yeah, you can't just slam a Chica and then like put it in the back row or whatever. It actually has to attack.
You still have the ways to plus your hand with the level assist.
Yeah, deck's still good.
And sometimes you just win games because your opponent doesn't play around the Chica too.
Yeah. Oh god, I love that card. I'm so happy that deck's become like a staple. That card's so sick.
And it still has free rush counter for 2 outs.
Deck's good. Kaguya JP players, don't feel bad. Your deck is still good. You can still take this to events.
Yeah, just don't look at Dao. At least you're not in Dao's position where you got hit.
Dao got hit 3 times?
Twice. Only twice.
Twice? Oh my god, it was only twice?
Yeah. But still, they basically killed everything that made Dao a good A standby deck. Besides, you know, you can still play Yoshino, but you can only play 2 your finisher now.
Yeah. So even Simple Gear, we'll get to Simple Gear, but I think even Simple Gear is still like.
I think Simple Gear would be B, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Konosuba.
Is it C tier or is it still like a B tier deck on the merit of?
See, you have explosive top end,
burn 5,
but my problem is your deck is so shit from 0 to 2 that you probably never even get there to be able to knock your opponent.
Not anymore, at least. Probably not. It's like when you get there, it's like
Assault Lily has the tools.
A better top.
They have easy ways to plus, easy way to generate stock. What does this deck do? If you're Obro in a shit position in a shit matchup, the rest of your deck falls apart.
True. Man, Konosuba is so suffering. They play the Oboro right now.
You have to play Oboro because the Union's like even shittier in the meta.
You can't reverse anything. At least with the Obero, you can play the door back or door brainstorm and like side your 1/1s, I guess, and stuff. But yeah, top end is sick. Everything else is really stinky.
Okay, maybe we'll put it higher than a standby Grisaya.
Yeah, higher than Grisaya. But, yeah. It's probably higher than like Kokwa Chino Gochi. Honestly, it's probably higher than shiny colors too. The top end is still just better than shiny colors. You're like the same kind of deck.
All right, Niji, I think we can both agree it's A. Where
yeah, Niji is like an A tier deck. Probably better than Kaguya, right?
Probably better than DBG. Probably better than Marine.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, it's really straightforward, dude. All you just slam down 1/1, slam down 2/2s, pay 1 twin drive, trigger twice, gain 2k, sit 9k, cross. What the fuck?
Yeah, you always win on offense.
Hit 1 or 2 standby on swings, and now your board is huge.
Spam your just resonate every turn.
Cessna, you don't even have to do anything. The only problem with Nijigasaki is you don't have too many tech cards for the meta. You just play just linear game. You play the same game every time.
I'm big, smile. Like, I think what I hate about this deck is that they slam Setsuna standby, and then sometimes they just get to do it. They don't play towards it. They're not trying to.
Yeah, because Setsuna doesn't need to attack in order to.
Yeah, it's just like, oh hey, I triggered a standby. Let me just put a Setsuna on board, and she's already big too. She's like 11k by herself.
Yeah, slam standby, summon a Setsuna. You already got burned 2 off. Twin drive. He'll hit standby, summon another Cessna. Maybe you hit the right standby, you get this restand with the.
It's so frustrating, dude. That happened to me. That happened to me, I think against like Kenny or something when we were playing at the WGP qualifier things for like Hawaii. He hit like 2 lions over 2 turns, and I'm just like, I look at it, I'm just like, that's the right climax. Oh. That's so frustrating. That deck's so frustrating.
You can have games where you have clean stock, but sometimes you twin drive so much you bury your CX.
Yeah, you just accept that you lose a CX or 2, but like you're shoving so much damage every turn.
You play like a 1k just twin driving. I've seen my opponents like
you play like a 2-soul.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, swing for 3. It's like, what the fuck? Swing for 3.
And then you're like, yeah, swing for 3. By the way, I'm a 13k. Level 1, by the way. Okay, and then your 1/0 has a soul trigger because that card's like really fair.
They cut down on that. They only play like 2 or 3 of that now.
Oh, only 2 or 3. Oh, God forbid. Yeah, because they have to play the resonator.
They play like coin flip level 0, so if you're going first, you can get punished.
Too, yeah, that deck's really good. That card's really well positioned as well.
The only problem another problem with the deck is your selection shit. That is why they just play multiple copies of every single one of the cards, and they barely play any like 1-ups. Yeah, there's barely any 1-ups in this deck. Maybe a counter, 1-up counter at most.
I think it's like
what
you. The lowest count you play is maybe the coin flip, right?
No, coin flip they play at 3.
At 3 of now, okay.
Yeah. The only thing, and compression like. Sometimes your opponent just like gets a really good deck space, and then since you're swinging 3s, 4s, your opponent just cancels a bunch.
Yeah, Fumio then.
Yeah.
A true Fumio too.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't get too far because you sitting like high level 3, and your opponent's sitting mid 2, just because they cancel because you swing so high.
It's like playing DBG, right? It's like the two soul effect. Sometimes they cancel because you swing too big, and then you're like, fuck. The 2 Fumio event sucks, kind of, but it's still there. You have it. You play it.
But yeah, I think the only thing they might play 1 of is like maybe a 2/1 assist, maybe
the 2/1,
maybe an anti-change counter.
The rest to get bottom deck kick, right? That card's sick.
But those are like your only techs you play.
Yeah.
Everything else you play 2 or more copies of.
Fuck that deck. I hate that deck. All my homies hate that deck. All right, next card. Next deck.
Door choice. Superstar.
This deck is sick.
Hey, this deck is good, but it's so overshadowed by its other deck that we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah, so as a deck, this is okay. If we're being realistic, this is like the real superstar deck in my eyes. Like if you're playing superstars, and you're not trying to play the fucking like bullshit $600 thing, this is the deck you want to play.
You can play Exodia, you can choose not to. I mean, all you need to do is
that's-
like reserve 2 to 3 slots for the
Exodia package is like a preference thing, but I think this deck is like really sick. I really like the power lines that this deck hits. No, Patrick. He's not talking about that. He's talking about the actual Exodia, like the 5 cards on board.
Piece,
and
you know the Kanon 3/2 that clock kicks 2 of your opponent's deck.
Yeah, that Exodia, not the OTK
you
deck.
had the EP healer, the combo, and then you had the 2 assists in the back.
Wait, no. The OTK deck, like the Exodia thing, is real. Like
it's like you're already playing the EP healer. You're already playing Sumire. You're probably already playing the level assist. So maybe you just throw in like 2 cards for it.
Yeah, you probably do lose some consistency in door to play it.
But it's an option.
An choice.
I'm not saying every deck plays it, but it's an option.
Yeah,
people have.
You can try to fit it. It's cool when you do it. It's still pretty.
But I also see people just playing like two Sumire Icy Tails, 1 Cuckoo, shuffle back, and like two events, and you just play. Maybe sometimes I just punish my opponent with these.
Yeah. But yeah, door hits really good power lines thanks to the 1/0 Cuckoo, the blue one that gives like power when you trigger climax or whatever.
Yeah.
You have to have a lot of clean stock because you pay out a stock, you pay out your second trigger with the combo because you get like a pseudo twin drive. So you always pay that one out if it's a climax, which is sick. And then if the second one is a trigger, or if your first one's a trigger, you can pay that out and restock with the 1/0. So you can like get like a lot of random pluses and like really high value pluses on top of your thing being like a check 3 add 1 combo. So you move through like a lot of cards per combo piece too. So it's like it's really sick. Like it also gets to push like a good amount of damage because you're twin driving.
So yeah, kind of like Nijisaki, you're playing like a Soul-esque like deck. It's a twin driving.
Your EP is really strong too. Your top end is like good enough. That's probably the best way to put it, right? It's not like anything I'd write home about, but yeah. I mean, it probably does feel better than Niji to play. I could definitely see that. Is it a better deck than Niji? I feel like Niji probably plays better into what's good in the meta, just because it's bigger. But I could believe it. The deck seems really strong. It's like again very consistent. It will do the same thing like every game.
Right.
Especially when Christy pilots it.
Now here's a boogeyman.
I mean, this deck is just like S tier on the merit if it's broken, right?
Yeah.
Like this deck fundamentally should not be allowed to exist.
2 plussing combos. You're always every single game. You're just building a bunch of hand, and then you hit level 3, then you coom.
This is like the most frustrating deck. This deck will actually kill you from like level like 2/0, and you can't do anything about it. This deck can choose to combo whenever it wants. You can't stop it.
Yeah, if you unless you're playing Sao, you just throw a heap cliff in the memory, then you can stop it.
Yeah, Sao 10th actually like triple S tier because Superstars is S tier.
When a meme dies, dude, it sees so much play in Japan. It's so strong.
I would not be surprised if Shioko actually gets hit.
Okay,
probably still play the 1/1.
I think it'll be fair if it gets hit. I will still think it's like top 8.
It's still probably like a top of A deck. Yeah, like with the 1/1, it just means you can't nut as hard.
Shioko won't get banned, but what they can do is like 2 choose 1 Sumire, Icy Tail, and Shioko, and that's probably
that'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
That would be, but even then, it still doesn't stop you from playing the 1/1, right?
Yeah, unless you want
like the 1/1.
Unless you want to 3 choose 1 of those 3 cards, then it's like now
yeah,
the deck drops.
If you go like hit 2/1 Kanon, Shioko, and then the
all you need to do is Sumire Ice Tail, Shioko, and then 1/1 3 choose 1, and then the deck basically.
And the 1/1, sure, yeah, and then it's gone.
Yeah, and then the deck's basically.
Yeah, if they want to do it like that, they could do it. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. A deck's really not fun to play against at all.
The only counter really is, besides having heat cliff, is just have like a memory kick counter and then memory kicking the 2/1 Kanons. That's like the best you can do
before they get so they can't resolve.
So that's like how you cut off as much plussing as they can get.
That's asking
much
a lot,
resources.
Yeah, it's just really frustrating that this deck you can't even like level lock them or anything. They'll just when they want to go, they go. They choose.
Yeah. My locals like, oh, you can just leave them at 2-5 and then try to kill them from there. It's like, bro, have you read this card?
Yeah, clock encore looping. I think people just also don't think about like the implication of just being able to go play a clock encore, overplay a clock encore, the clock encore, and just spam loop it. Like they don't. It's not like a game mechanic people think about when you like show them this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really
strong.
I hate this deck.
The only benefit is that you won't see it too much in outside Japan because this is so hard and all the Japanese players are hoarding it, all the PRs.
You'll see the 1/1 version though, and that deck is still good. Like this deck is still really frustrating. It can't nut as hard because it needs to spend 2 stock on the actual 1/1s.
Yeah, it's less consistent to nut.
Just make them have.
True.
Yeah, true. Make them get stuck a refresh. Got them.
Yeah, be like, oh, you wanna, you're 3-5. And you
well, then they're just gonna, no, because then they're just gonna go 3-5 brainstorm. Oh no, I got refresh to 3-6. I'm so good. Smile.
Sunshine.
That's a deck.
I think still better than these.
Probably.
You stand by Sunshine. You still have Mirai Take It Yo, and
you have Rico.
That's the thing that keeps it relevant.
You have
Rico.
Mirai Take It Rico, you mean?
Yeah, Mirai Take It Rico.
That card's broken.
Still a card that exists.
That card is still designed
relevant. Oh, barely relevant. It keeps it like, you know.
How is 8-door Superstar? I don't know anything about 8-door Superstar.
8-door Superstar is just like worse version of this. You play the same the same core,
your top
and
end
you just play worse top end.
Like if Rico 2-1 if they just decided one day to just hit 2-1 Rico, I won't say anything. I'll just let it happen. I'll be smiling inside at least. I'll be like, oh man, I can't believe they did this.
But they got unhit. They got buff.
Oh yeah, the Mari coin flip.
Yeah, Mari coin flip buff. The 8 standby doesn't play. That's why they buffed it. If they ever get awesome sub back though.
Maybe this deck is real again.
Maybe they semi-limit Yo. Maybe take it Yo. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. It's not gonna happen though, but maybe. Hypotheticals.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe March. We'll see.
Marvel baby.
Marvel's
probably like low A.
Iron Man's a hell of a card.
Yeah, but the top end kind of sucks.
But Iron Man's a hell of a card.
Okay, your zero is sick because Black Panther is like broken. Like Black Panther is like a nutty card.
Was that 4/5 on the fans that hand sculpts?
It's a 35. It's like a 35. If you take damage, it gets like 50 power.
So it's 5k. It's a 5k on defense.
5k, something like that. It's like freaking ridiculous, dude.
The only problem on this deck is that all your top end costs so much stock, and you don't have any ways to generate stock.
I mean, you're getting baited by Iron Man because you want a JC because you have like cards like worth JCing. Like you have the Ant-Man, Vision. Vision's a good card too, though. Anti-Encore is really sick. Really good against like Rushia if you can actually manage to answer the board. That's also an issue though. The decks are playing Hulk now to try to answer boards.
Yeah, you have Hulk for mid game.
Vision 5 stock like double Hulk plus Vision is pretty sick at answering boards.
I saw it actually for today. If you check my blog out, a lot of Marvel decks play like maybe 2, maybe 3 pants, just because you probably don't play it into your pants miniature too much.
Yeah, it's so hard to play into.
So that's the only downside of this deck. You have no good, cheap, efficient top end. But you have a solid, you have a really strong level 1, and you have a pretty solid level 2 with EP Healer and Hulk.
You have level down as a card.
Mm-hmm.
You have a cool 2 of the Ant-Man that's like a 2-soul attacker. That card's really cool. You have the Mantis that gives power, so it's like easy to help things get removed. Your top end is still really strong when you get to resolve it. It's a pretty shitty top end because of the context of the deck, but when you get to fully resolve it, it's like what? It's like burn 1. How many burns is that even? Like it's like a little bit better than
Okay,
triple
you want,
right?
I think the
Or,
option
it's
you
just
want to
triple.
do is 1 Hawkeye, 2 Iron
one
Man.
Hawkeye, double
Oh,
double
Captain
captain.
Yeah, double captain.
So it's the same amount of
That's
burns.
6 burn ones.
6 burns and 4 attacks. So it's like
Yeah.
it's like an attack better than Cocoachino, which I mean like if we go Cocoachino, we said Cocoachino kind of sucks, but Cocoachino's numbers are still like good enough to like win you
And
games.
he's like
and that's good enough to win
Cocoachino
you
plus
games.
an attack.
Plus it heals, and you don't have to select for it, which is a big deal because you have the event. You just find one Captain America plus the event, and you get the whole thing. Which
Yeah,
is,
but
like, not
sometimes
asking too much.
you hit level 3 and you're like, oh, I only have 4 stock.
I don't have the stock. Yeah, your stock is the issue. If you can't get that turn, you don't have the stock.
I think what was it like 8 stock? You need 8 stock.
It's 8 stock. Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah, that's the only issue. Is the stock
yeah.
can be an issue because the Iron Man. That's what's kind of holding it back. Is the consistency to actually get that top end just isn't there.
But your level 1 is really sick and your level 2 is okay.
Mhm.
Your level
0,
0
1
is
is
really
sick.
good. Yeah.
But I mean, that's good enough sometimes. That's good enough sometimes to just get you there on like pure value and then just slamming healers and comboing when you can combo. But
Choice Pants and Shoku.
probably like a B tier deck, right? It's pretty similar to. It's probably like better than Bang Dream, but worse than Grisaya.
Probably.
Like it's doing what Bang Dream. It's like the same kind of deck as Bang Dream, I think. But
Very
it's like more
consistent.
consistent.
You have the
your top
event,
end
you
is,
have
like, fine.
Rugers, you have Lost Away the plus, you have the 1-0 Roxy
Yeah.
that pluses you. You can get pretty. Your level 1 combo can get pretty decently big. It's like you can get like
Yeah.
10k.
Yeah, you can get big. You can do good things at 2. Like your level 2 is not a slouch. You can compress really well.
The top end kind of
You just
sucks
don't-
though.
You're just your top end's like pretty whatever, and you're just not good at closing games. And if Roxy can't threaten the board, then tap counter doesn't matter. And that's kind of the issue. Is like your top end's power is like 13.5 capped, I think, something like that, right? It's like maybe 14 if you have the back row as like your cap or something like that, which just isn't
You
good
usually,
enough,
usually
I
have like a
think.
2k assist and like level 5.
Yeah, and they're 11.
Do you think
14.5, so-
Marvel did well enough to warrant a 2-set sales wise? Marvel feels like a one and done set.
No, I think it's a one and done.
I think it might be a one-time deal and done, like how Star Wars was. But we don't.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It,
they
it,
can-
it also depends how like expensive the IP is.
Yeah,
as
maybe
to
they
license.
can
We
afford a
don't know.
license to reprint, but Star Wars was a one and done. Maybe Marvel will be in the one and done, and it will
Yeah,
just
I think this deck is
forever
better
stay
than any other.
hell expensive for the next few years.
I mean, I do think this is like the best JP exclusive set we've seen, right?
I mean, we haven't seen Project Sekka yet.
Sure. I mean, okay. Besides that, that's not out yet. But like Star Wars, Godzilla,
JoJo,
JoJo.
Skullgirl
JoJo is
Strikers.
technically we technically can not play JoJo at WGP still, even though it's in English. We are not allowed to.
Schoolgirl Strikers.
Yeah.
Stinky.
Girlfriend Beta.
Ugh.
Okay, Girlfriend Beta was actually broken at the time. Maybe Girlfriend Beta was like better, but
All right, enough about Marvel.
yeah.
Back on track.
Well, we are Mushoku, but yeah. Let me see. Probably below Quince, right? Like right below. Is it below Superstar? Just because of how gross Superstar is. Like I don't want to put Superstar on this fucking pedestal and like acknowledge it like that though. Like if we're in a real meta, it's like not there, but it's there because we
In
have to.
our meta, it's not there. But if we assume everyone has access to every single deck, then it's
No,
up
I
there.
don't think Mushoku is A tier. I think Mushoku is still one of the best decks in the
I still
game.
think Mushoku is still one of the best.
Because your decks all the decks have to warp around it. The only thing holding it back is that Quince is bigger than it, and Danmachi can be bigger than it. But Danmachi has to work to be bigger than it, and that's it's like out there. But I think like you still have to like everything has to warp around Mushoku and like think about Mushoku's power lines constantly, which I think is like something you have to like consider at all times.
Even in JP, like when you're looking at tournaments, the top 4 decks that tops everything, it's these 4.
Yeah,
These 4 are the
it's
top
literally
decks.
just these 4.
And then maybe
With
a
Assault
start,
Lily
maybe
probably
a
gonna
Solid
be
needs
there.
to start topping. A whole
Yeah,
life,
you'll see, like, Assault Lily
whole
and
life is
Hololive. You'll
kind
always
of
see Hololive,
topping a
though.
lot, but it's like it's
But
like
it's so many
50
different
50
things.
billion different whole life decks that's topping.
Yeah.
It's because it's popular. But these,
Yeah,
if you,
Hololive.
whenever
I mean, Hololive's gonna get banned. It doesn't matter. But
you,
sad but true. Hololive.
these, I think it's easy to say these four are the current top meta decks. Solidly has a chance to get in there. Solidly's just still new, so it's too soon to say yet. But these are your four defining decks of the meta right now.
Agreed. Yeah, these dictate everything. Like, Danmachi is only good because Danmachi is amazing because decks like Mushoku are one of the best decks. So this is like Danmachi is probably the most like meta dependent of the ones up there. Kind of same with Quince too. Quince is really good because Mushoku is like considered one of the best as well, I think. But I think also because like Rushia exists, and like so many decks are trying to fight for board. Yeah, like so many decks are trying to fight for board that it's like good enough. It's like it's there, it exists, and people want to play it and it's consistent. Yeah,
I know
this is probably how I agree.
Yeah, there is a lot of Solidly in Japan right now, but I mean, set
It's
just
just
came. It
popular.
just
Flavor
came
of the
out,
month.
you know.
And
you have to give it a few weeks first before you can quantifiably say it belongs in like the meta definers.
Yeah, because everybody's gonna be playing it now, but people also aren't playing it at like big events. Like these big events that have happened, it wasn't being played. Like I don't think it showed up that much, right?
Yeah, it's not. You saw
Because
these
it's
two.
too new.
These two were seen a lot.
Every team, like every team was playing.
If
them.
you're a top team, you play these two decks in your team. If you,
And
are,
then you
if
picked
you
like one of the other. You picked like one of these other two, or if you were feeling spicy, you flexed.
How many
like,
decks
something else.
left? And we went through 3 rows.
We went through. Yeah, most of these are gonna be faster too, because these aren't as like There's not as much to talk about with some of these.
Alright, Prisma Ilya I think is definitely a solid A.
Probably like A tier. Yeah. Probably worse than DBG maybe.
I'm thinking here.
So it has really good deck speed.
There's a strong finisher, deck speed. Your
free fresh looping.
Yeah. Your mid game is besides free fresh, the rest of your mid game is kind of like whatever.
Yeah, your EP kind of sucks. You do have ReZero and D-Change counter though.
You do have that.
That's really sick.
Maybe it's better than Marvel.
Your level 1 combo is good because it's like free.
+3.
I
like Zero.
Zero
All it has is runners,
chasers,
and Ricky. It's like sure, it's fine.
Zero.
It's like a cool, but it's like nothing.
Oh, Kuro Bomb exists though. Kuro Bomb is broken. Kuro Bomb gets to out whatever it wants. It bombs anything. It bombs the world. Comes back, spams, plays free heals.
I don't think it's
I'd probably put it above Kaguya.
You think
really?
so?
I do. I think that deck's really good. It's very consistent as well. It's like the only issue that deck has is if it doesn't find its top end pants. That's like the worst part of that deck.
But you're playing 8 pants.
But, yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
But it happens. It happens more than I would like it to admit it happens, but it does happen.
The one downside of this deck is it's very expensive. IRL.
Yes, I don't think it's like much better than Kaguya, but I think it's like it's around the same tier. Where I kind of want to just put it better because I think it's like it has like a better level 1 game, but still has like a same tier strength of top end, and their zeros are like the same tier. But I don't know, Dexter's good.
It's quite
Free fresh looping is really strong.
A standby Prism Ilya.
Probably a B tier, like a solid like B tier deck.
Yeah.
It's probably like I'm trying to think if it's better than well, I don't really know Hololive, so I can't say if it's better. Like this deck does, I don't know, dude. It sits on the Kaleidoscope pieces because they come out at like 1. That's pretty cool. They cantrip. You get to play Mapo Tofu counter. You just kill something.
Plays
Curl Bomb.
Yeah, EP and Curl Bomb's nice. Yeah, you can summon the 3k assist. Finisher is
probably
fine. It's cheap.
Probably put it somewhere in the middle, right? Like probably somewhere near like 8-door Quince.
I'm thinking here.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
That seems fine.
You still play Ossa. You have like 5 Ossa.
Yeah, stuff. Like a lot of these B tier decks are like very like that's the only issue. A lot of these decks are like very similar in strength. Are we gonna have to like break down and go like a relevant tier? It's just like let this be D, like Charlotte be D tier. I like C for Charlotte though. Precone is like a B tier deck. It just It has power. I would play this deck over 8 Door Quints if that says anything. But I think because we said power is relevant right now, right? And this deck has power. This deck has power. This deck has deck speed.
This mid game kind of sucks though.
It's really, I think its mid game's fine. It slams the 2-1. It gets like a 14-5 early play. Runs over shit.
Is it better than the Capel?
Probably. That Kappa has like literally no level 1 mid game, right? This deck actually has like, this deck will actually like scale 1/1s. I think scaling 1/1s is really good. Like, I played with Carmen. I played it with Carmen a bit, and he played into Mushoku with it, and it's like really frustrating. That deck actually gets to just like run over your Arises, and you can't really do much about it. It can even run over your Gillian if it's in the front row. It's kind of obnoxious.
What are we thinking? Somewhere around
I would put it. I'd probably put it above Door. I don't know if it's better than book Choice to Capo though, because I never played that deck. But being that I've played 8 Door Quints, I can at least say it's better than 8 Door Quints. I just played a little bit of Precon yesterday actually. Deck still feels really good.
All right, all I gotta do is
set 2 coming.
We just wait for set 2 so I can climb up.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh, English exclusive! English exclusives! English exclusive!
Well,
is it better than Adventure
Nico,
Time? People say it's better than Adventure Time, right?
Well, it's probably better. It's probably better, like better meta wise because it's like board breaking. So I'll give it that. It board breaks, so they have to rely on an event to do so.
We have 2. We have 8 Door and we have. Yeah, if you're a weird person, plays 8 Standby, but we can play.
No,
you talk about Door
this...
Standby.
Yeah, this Door.
The only problem was, see how much space I have left over to put a door here. I decided not to.
Nice.
That's what you get for being a stupid ass four-letter set code.
Yeah. We can assume door top end, door level 1 for most of Ruby because I think that's the best Ruby top end, or level 1. I mean, probably better than Adventure Time.
Hello,
I'd probably
Darcy.
put both of them above Adventure Time.
Are you enjoying your 8 Standby Sunshine still?
Yeah, probably above Adventure Time. Seems fine to me. They break boards. The
Do you think it's better than
Minami gets to
Capel?
like. Probably.
Maybe here.
Probably.
Maybe here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd probably put Ruby. Okay, so Nico, the way Nico told me about the standby, and like, I don't play it. I don't want to play it. But he's of the opinion that having to fill your deck with like the standby stuff to like make the standby feel better is kind of like shitty. But so it makes it a little harder to play. But like, I mean, your top end is still board breaking. Your level 1 is still board breaking. So I mean, they're probably around like similar strength. But I'd probably just put them next to each other, to be honest. Like, I don't actually think the standby makes that much of a difference personally.
I think standby is probably way worse because you have to play these bricky ass tutus.
Yeah, that's probably the worst part. I hate hybrid standby. I hate hybrid level 3 standby. Hybrid level 1 standby, fine. Kagi is sick. Hybrid level 3 standby, kind of smelly. ReZero kind of sucks now. It's still a board-based deck though, which I mean, probably better than Charlotte still.
You think it's better than Charlotte?
Yeah. Charlotte can't climb pucks. they just can't.
Here?
Yeah, I'd say it seems fine.
I don't know.
It doesn't have to burn either, so you can actually like.
Yeah, but we're not talking about head-to-head matchup. We're talking about the strength of the deck.
Okay, if Charlotte is the gatekeeper of C tier, that's how I'm looking at this. If you want to put it in C, it's fine. I'm not gonna really fight it. I don't really care that much.
All right, we're putting C.
It just gets big.
Fuck ReZero. No one cares about ReZero. All right, we're down to the last 12. 8-win Sao.
C. If you don't play against standby, you auto lose.
All right. Do you think? No, it's probably not. Yeah, it's probably not.
No. Just put it like next to Precon, dude.
I kind of want. Precon?
Sure. I mean, that's fine.
I mean,
it's like the same kind of. Even you already said it before. It's the same kind of deck as Precon. Just loops combo over and over.
Yeah, but the difference is you have Heathcliff. The Heathcliff buff.
Sure. Sure.
The Heathcliff buff.
They don't even pick Heathcliff choice. They pick fucking runner.
No, you have to play Heathcliff now because of this. If you're playing Sal in 2022, you're playing it because you have Heathcliff.
Sure. Fine. Sure. Under the asterisk of Heathcliff choice, every other version is like buy 8 door quins.
All right.
Yeah.
The worst, the lesser.
Just put this one next to 8. This one's like 8 door. Like that's it. It puts out its 11k. It solitaires. It gets its like one.
All right. Do you think it's better or worse than Ruby?
It's better than Ruby.
I think it's better than Ruby. I think it's worse than A Standby Prismalia though.
Sure. There we go. Problem solved. I'm not gonna argue.
All right. A Standby Sal.
This deck sucks. Put it with Adventure Time and Dow. Put it where it belongs. That's a fucking like 20. That's like a 2018 deck. Get rid of it.
Yo, his money counter though, and you can play Heathcliff.
Yeah. Put in D.
What the hell?
That deck is a vanilla. That's a vanilla. This is D tier. D tier is actually just vanilla standby tier.
All right, let's see if I got a PM from UA.
Yeah.
UA, how much are you willing to pay me to put it higher?
Literally, a standby Sao is vanilla standby tier. If you are just a vanilla standby deck that isn't doing anything worth noting, you're garbage.
UA, if you're watching UA, every $20 I'll put a tier higher.
$20? What the fuck? No, we're not. No.
All right.
Wait, no, this ruins the meme.
You want to keep all these standby
Yeah.
there?
Vanilla, dude, it's vanilla. It's not D tier. It's vanilla standby tier. Wait, no. Okay, wait, no. Grisai is not vanilla standby though. Grisai is just something cool.
Fine.
All right, this is sick.
7 deadly.
8 standby, 7 deadly sins.
What?
This deck fucking sucks.
This deck's fucking shitty. Yes. Fuck.
Go put it next to like Grisaya.
Yeah.
Yeah, Meliodas
Fuck!
can
I can't.
eat my ass.
The
That
tier
fucking
list is too
sucks.
big now. I can't reach the last one.
Too many things. There you go. Symphogear. B tier.
B. I'm thinking
Probably
high
next to, like,
B.
Probably next to like Sao, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking high B.
It's like it
it's
still
like-
gets to EP.
very lot less consistent, and there's times where you just have bad deck state and can't get out because you don't have mill anymore. What, the EP package is still stupid.
True, Matt. True. It does clap me. I made sure to note it. Don't worry. I see that deck fucking bullied me. That was because my Shions didn't restand for 5 turns.
Yeah. Alright, Summer Pockets. When this deck was here once, now it's probably
Yeah, it's like the
down
capo,
here.
dude.
We'll put it
Probably like
next
next to the capo, right?
Yeah, we'll put it
Yeah.
next to the capo.
The Titans. The Titans.
Oh, how have 1 year has passed and these two has fallen quite low.
God, it's only been a year, hasn't it? Oh god. Year and a half. So depressing.
8. Oh my god, fuck, why is B so big?
Wait, do you want to trim it? Do you want to make an extra tier? Because B's like the average, right? It's a curve.
Wait, it's still gonna be too big.
Okay. So we say D tier. The other tier just becomes vanilla standby tier. Or just vanilla tier. Vanilla's 2 L's, my man.
My bad. I pressed backspace too much.
Okay.
Alright,
Yeah,
we
vanilla
gotta change the
standby.
color.
Red. Alright, sick. Alright, good. And now we can move everything down. And we'll just cut B at a point.
No, new gatekeeper gets to be Charlotte at bottom of C now.
Okay.
Congrats,
that's
Charlotte.
fine.
You can be
C for Charlotte.
C for Charlotte. You can stay there. All right, we're gonna move this garbage
Yeah, Ruby,
here. This garbage
Hololive.
here. This garbage
Hololive
here.
probably.
This
Hololive
garbage
deserves to
here.
be C.
This garbage here. This garbage here.
Yeah, probably.
This garbage here.
We stop.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
All right. Good.
Goes back
All
for
right.
super.
A choice slime. That's in C tier. That deck can't. If that deck doesn't move through its deck, it'll lose to the game instantly. Yeah.
I think it's better than time. I think it's better than this.
Sure, I'm down.
Hand store. I think it's B.
Yeah, probably B.
Probably
it's very consistent.
Lower of B. Probably better than Sal.
Okay, so Matt made a good point. Sao does get to play Bercouli. And Bercouli's kind of broken.
Bercouli is a cool card. I think some of those D tiers should be C.
Bercouli makes me actually want to put it above Prismalia. Because Bercouli's like...
Yeah, but we need to keep Charlotte in C because it's funny.
No. Yeah.
C for Charlotte. Bottom of C for Charlotte. If we think you're better than Charlotte, you get to pass the C test.
I mean, I think ReZero is better than Charlotte, but Kevin doesn't, so... And I'm not gonna fight it. Oh, dude, sick Darcy, you're cracked.
Alright, 8 standby slime. It's probably higher than 8
right?
pants. But probably not too much higher.
Yeah, I'd probably leave it there. Maybe better than Pre-Kane.
I kind of feel like the cap was bit.
Okay, I'm down with
that. Sorry, Neil. Roll Trigger. Do you know what this deck does?
No. I know it has a Joker top end thingy, and it has some like good zeros.
It does have some really good zeros. It's actual JC, like JC Shinobu.
Yeah.
And it has an oversized runner. It has an oversized brainstorm for what it's worth, for whatever reason.
Does it?
Yeah, their brainstorm is 3. They have a 3/5 brainstorm.
Wait, that's frack. That's sick. You're telling me I can play my brainstorm and like have it not die? That's so sick.
Why is 8 standby slime so low? I'm not a fan of 8 standby slime.
Alright, so my issue with 8 standby slime, I've played more games of 8 standby slime than I think a single human being should ever have to play in a span of a week. And you just lose to yourself so often.
I just hate the level 1, dude. The level 1 feels so bad.
If your level 1 feels so bad, if you don't hit, you literally lose the game. And sometimes it's just not good enough. And I think there are plenty of good decks right now that you could just climb around it. Like everything gets like all these good decks are like way bigger than this deck. Like Quince can actually climb over Geld counter, so it's not threatening. They have cards that can remove Geld. If Geld tries to hit the front row, you can just like kick the Geld away. You have a problem scaling things on offense. You really can't scale these decks like Mushoku and stuff. If they hit one first, which they can usually do because their Ricky is better than yours, the Rizur is better, and they hit a board, sometimes you just can't do anything because your Rimuru level 1 has to front. So if you just present things that are bigger than Rimuru before they can deal anything, you just lose.
Also, Mushoku's plussing when they...
Yeah, Mushoku gets a free plus.
When
Rimuru...
You're getting
it's
stock.
Just really... I think there's just a lot of issues that Slime has. And yeah, Slime can have some pretty
Slime
poor,
could probably move
XP.
up and B.
It's somewhere in there. It's like this isn't like I don't think B's power level is like a big gap. Like these decks are not like bigger, but
I don't think
super
it's A.
bad, super good. No, it's definitely not A tier. I would not pick Slime over any of those decks because I don't like Marussia can lose to itself sometimes, but it's not losing to itself like Slime does. And even then, it's still like if Slime doesn't hit the tempo of the standby by a certain point, that deck's entire like being is just non-existent anymore. But things like Rushia can still just like hit 3, slam on the board, and kill somebody, and that's like lame.
All right, who plays World Trigger here? Raise your hand.
Where's Tyler?
The funny thing is, I have a guy named Tyler Milo who plays World Trigger.
I mean, okay, the top end is good, right? Like the top end's like actually pretty good.
You have good zeros. Your one is
good zeros. What's your level 1 combo?
You either play a door level 1 which has on attack gives something on attack Shimakai. It's a Shimakai with on attack ditch 2, check 4, add 4 characters.
That's garbage. Okay.
Or the event. Or you play a oversized Opero like Shiny Mass that's on a choice and has a soul trigger.
Oh, so that's probably the best one, right?
Yeah.
Choice pants. That sounds
Yeah.
okay.
You have a really good top end. You have a really good zero game.
Wait, you got that? You got that really sick early play too. The
Oh
red
yeah, you
one,
have a
right?
really nice early play that just stays on the board forever.
All you have for mid game is deck speed. So you have deck speed in that one early play. Probably put it like next to slime, like pants door slime, like door pants slime. Sounds good enough to me.
Sure. Alright, we can sing somewhere.
Zombieland's probably like okay. I think this deck is so sick because it's like I would probably put it next to like Two Soul DBG because I think they're both in that same vein of deck where they're very outside of the norm. This is the problem with this deck is like I was talking to Ryan about it and like Carmen about it as well. They both have a very similar opinion where they don't like how this deck plays, and I think that's very understandable because this deck is so unconventional because you're just playing heavily into level zeros and you're just playing to value out your opponent with zeros and just build like a massive amount of resources by looping your check 3 brainstorm, slamming climaxes, and playing the Ricky that goes to stock. So anytime your opponent wants to play a climax or do anything to you, they're giving you free resources, which can be really frustrating, and in some cases can also de-incentivize your opponent from even playing
Choice Pants
their
Zombieland
climaxes.
Saga. Okay, no one's playing that.
Because of how like oppressive the soccer at top end can be if it actually gets to fully resolve. And I found I have a lot of games where I'm like oversaturated on like stock. To the point where I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can just brainstorm my heart out. I can do literally whatever I want and just grab my Sakura pieces all at once if I have to. If I couldn't sculpt for them during the mid game, it literally doesn't matter. It's so fun in my opinion, and it's so funny because it's so weird. And like you're just slamming down like Shimakais that can side with no soul penalty, and you're climbing things with your random clean cut because your clean cut's just like a 5k if it attacks last. You have your like on reverse coin flip thing that's like a pseudo damage scry most of the time. You can climb over some things thanks to the 1-0 blue Sakura, so you can still actually climb and contest the 1-1s if you want to. That also pluses on stock as well. Like it just has a lot of like good enough tools that deck's just weird, but the weird deck just functions so well towards what this deck wants. And Sakura is really gross. If Sakura gets to play the like triple Sakura plus the Mocha, or even like double plus the Mocha, it's really scary. Like it would just take games away, and it's not fun for the opponent in any capacity. But as the person playing it, I think it's so much fun. Yeah, it's a good solid if it hits its brainstorm. Luckily, if you put out the Rickies, they slam a climax, you can just brainstorm your heart out. You literally don't care. Like you just slam like double, triple brainstorm, and you just go, haha, I'm gonna find it. Trust. So, deck's really sick though. I like it a lot.
All right, ignore me. We're doing a slight edit on a stream, so you guys can screenshot this.
Are you putting the book on it?
I'm putting the book on. I'm tilting me.
Okay, thank you. It's been really frustrating.
Oh, so
I kept saying
I can't see it, dude. I can't. How do I make the screen bigger?
You're so stupid. Oh my god.
It gets too small. There's too much in the way.
A little smaller. Oh my god, this is so painful. Am I frozen?
There we go. There we go. Yeah. No. I froze it because I.
Oh, it's because of me.
Yeah, I full screen my Streamlabs. There we go. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Wow, I was frozen. That was so rude. Could have made it a more flattering picture at least. Yeah, no, Zombieland is just sick.
Alright, is there anything that we want to change here?
Do we want to drop Assault Lily door down, or do we want to keep it there?
I believe you can stay there.
I kind of like having the clean one row of A's.
I do like that clean one row.
Unless we want to drop Choice down and put door there. I'm okay with that too.
Choice? So move
like Choice Assault Lily?
Assault Lily down.
Yeah. And then it's kind of nice because then we have a hierarchy of Assault Lily. It's like boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
Yeah, I like this.
I kind of think Versailles is better than this, to be honest.
I think so too.
I kind of think Mushoku's better than this, to be honest.
You think Mushoku's better?
Actually, it's hard to say. I think Mushoku is better.
I think it's too new.
I think Mushoku is better mid-game.
I'm more familiar with Mushoku, so I'll say that much.
Actually,
Move 6 pan, 2 stock soul Sao. Sure, I don't care. Again, I'm so unfamiliar with the choice stuff, but move 6 pants 2 stock soul up because of the green. I mean, I'm willing to probably say with the green, it's probably like better than Precone. It's super solitary, and then green cucks people really hard.
Okay, I kind of feel this is a bit too high. Kind of want to move
Really?
this down.
Wait, what? Grisaya? That's fine. We were just putting it next to him. Well, we were putting it next to Himari, right? That was the original. But I think it's better than Himari because of anti-heal. Well, we just find that Grisaya being an anti-heal deck, and I think a lot of decks right now are kind of tilting back to regular healers just of what's good. That playing Grisaya puts you well positioned. Even if JP players aren't playing it, I think they're playing it because they want to play the good things, and these aren't things. B is not things you should be looking to take to a tournament. B is things that you should be aware of because people might take them or will take them to a tournament. Whether we recommend it or not, no, not really. But Grisaya is like one of those decks that's like very gatekeepy in that it's if you're a healing deck, you're getting punished by Grisaya existing. And these aren't like the stable decks either that can like survive. I think Gochi deserves to be up there. I think that deck's potentially really good.
Yeah, but you think it's potentially it's also kind of new. Thank you, Sophia Golet, for follow.
Chat. Oh, they follow too sick. Not just things. Damn, I joined too late. Gotta say, I love to see Zombieland on tier 8. Yeah, I love this deck. Shot Door Zombieland made me really happy because I didn't think I was ready to give up on Zombieland because I hated every deck I played.
I really like all the way up to
Kevin.
Higuchi.
No, your book is on Prillia now.
Oh fuck. Oh. Saved.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know.
I think you guys put Grisaya too high.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was commenting on. I just think like
I kind of don't see these decks being played too much either.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I just said. Like these are not tournament decks. B is not tournament decks. B is just decks that if you go to a tournament,
I feel
like if you go to a tournament, you can expect to probably see people choose to play these.
So if you guys play more, possibly.
I mean, I'm fine with that too. I mean, if you want to call Symphogear the gatekeeper of B, I'm not like objecting to that. I think both those decks are like good.
Both annoying. Both
yeah,
strong.
they're both like really annoying decks that are probably just better. There's like probably like a small power gap between those two decks and the rest of the decks actually in B tier. Gochi, I only want to leave Bar Choice Gochi there because I think like because it's so new, but hypothetically this has so much support that like it looks really good. It looks really good.
But looks.
I kind of want to put it better than. Can we at least, if we're gonna drop one of the decks, can we drop Marvel instead? I think that deck looks better than Marvel.
But Iron Man, dude. Iron Man's crack.
But this deck has JC2.
Iron Man's crack. Yeah, but your JC doesn't plus you twice.
It doesn't plus you twice. That is true. But you get to play Bar Choice.
True, Bar Choice is a superior CX lineup, but I also think Door Pants is the second best.
Yeah, but it's not Bar Choice.
Yeah, but Door Pants is also really good.
Isn't Shoku better as well? No, because it also plays Roxy, and we both agreed that Roxy kind of sucks. And then in a standby meta, when you're playing a card like when you're trying to play into like lean into tap counter and stuff, if you can't actually win your board at 3, it doesn't matter.
Right, anything else we want
You're
to
not
change?
getting to play your tap counter.
I'm still kind of sussing in Gochi, but we'll leave it there for now.
Bar choice,
yeah.
It's good. Deck's just good. I mean, look, if you're really that insistent to put it down to B tier, sure. But like when I look at that deck, when I look at what that deck has, it's like spooky.
Okay,
Very
we'll leave
spooky.
it there for now. These are
Like,
the two bottom A's.
Super consistency. But you run the Rudy Kaicho, like you mean like Big Rudy?
Man,
You do run
DBG
Big Rudy.
dropped. DBG. I just said DBG is probably like top high
Yeah.
A, and now it's like
Yeah, and then we looked at all the other decks. That's what I was saying. Like, look at all the other decks. It's like, yeah, you run the Big Rudy, but Big Rudy also does not play towards winning the board. Unfortunately, it can win you the board at 2, but yeah, you can't. Yeah, exactly. Like Patrick said, you can't play backup, so it doesn't actually help you play towards that game plan regardless. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this looks mostly fine. I don't think there's anything I particularly want to drop. C tier. Do we want to bring anything from D up above there? Do we feel like anything's better than Charlotte that's in there? Maybe Dow. Maybe Dow and Sunshine. Because Shido does let you actually kill things. If you can like double Shido, you can actually get rid of their Charlotte, right? No, Matt, I'm sorry. I don't agree.
DBG should be moved up. I think it's fine there. These are really confident decks.
Yeah, like I think what Zombieland does is just like stronger than what DBG does as a whole.
Number
and it's
13.
also, like, very unique. ISC got moved from. Oh shit! I mean, it's true. It does do that. I have a negative win record versus their shiny colors from both Dan and that other guy and the guy that I played during thing. I played them multiple times with that deck, and I have a very negative win rate. I think my win rate against shiny colors is like 10%. Deck's OP, but not OP enough to be better than Charlotte. Gochi, is Gochi better?
Goshi's
when you
better
when
than
you
what?
don't look at when you like it like I feel like Pansdor Gochi is better than this.
Nah, I'm leaving there just to make fun of Yavi.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. In reality, though, the deck's probably like it is actually probably like a.
I can't wait to
I
get
think it
paid
has a
tomorrow
lot.
morning. Like, what the fuck?
I think, like, very realistically, and everybody here can hear us say it. I think that deck is actually probably like low B tier, like bottom of B tier. It has a lot of tools, like a lot of like insane, like level 0, level tool, like
Wait,
level
Gochi?
0 tools. Yeah,
This one?
it's level 0 is really good now. Yes, like it's like Gochi's level 0 is really good.
It does have Rize, it does have 2K Pump Cheery, it does have Ricky.
It has
now.
2K Pump Cheery, it has Ricky, it
But
has
it's level 1 and 2.
it has the Stalker.
This one, 2
Well, it has-
is so stinky.
Well, you can get away with the Shimakaze. That's what I was saying. Like you can actually like climb things with Shimakaze now. Like your Shimakaze can get like an actual number that can climb. Your level 2 still kind of sucks, but Mashu EP is good, right? We both agree Mashu EP is like a good EP.
Mashi AP?
Yeah,
It's fine.
11k EP heal to stock cross turn.
What's the problem with ReZero? It does nothing.
Yeah, bar choice is Sharochia.
It does nothing.
Rezero doesn't do anything. It's just big. It's just a wall, which I mean is fine. That's like a competent enough deck as it is. But
Bang
like,
Dream
there's
does
so
it
many
better.
other decks doing what it's doing, and yeah, Bang Dream kind of does that better. And they're hexproof. Yeah, Gochi's 2 is a little bit better now, I think too, because it has that new EP that it can play.
Okay, it's kind
you
of
have, like, the-
bad because I did handpick a lot of these decks. It's a lot, so it's like I handpicked these, so a lot of these are like probably C better, but I don't know, dude.
Well, we handpicked them because these are just the decks these were decks on the community tier list for one, right? Like a lot of these were
And
on
I
the
added a
community
few
tier list.
more, and I removed some of the very bottom ones. Like Fate is
Yeah.
not on here. Sorry, Yo Fuzzy
Um,
Matt, but JP Fate's kind of suffering. TBH. I also had to kill my own Psychono. Psychono.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin decided to curate the decks. I just said some things that weren't on there should be there.
I don't know how I ended up
I mean,
having
like-
a Buddha here.
What?
Buddha's kinda
Buddha sucks, dude.
booty.
If it wasn't for the meme, this vanilla standby at the fucking bottom, it'd be actually like at the bottom. Killed the D tier. Basically, you could just purge this D tier, except Gochi. Don't purge Gochi.
Just
Gochi's
purge
just there for the
D
meme.
tier and just throw everything in here.
No, I guess maybe, but I mean, that's the same problem as before, right? But dude, Seven Deadly Sins and Grisire are so stinky. All right, we can move ReZero and move shiny colors up. Everything else stays down there.
Oh, but it's not.
Dude, I
It's
don't
no
know.
longer linear anymore.
True, I like the line. The lines were nice.
Ah, fuck, I feel like you ain't now. The line was so nice.
Oh, the book got moved, Kevin. The book got moved.
Oh fuck, where the? Oh, it's cause I fucking scrolling. Fine, I guess we have to fucking stop with the meme. We won't meme it, so we can fucking delete this thing. Give me a sec.
Oh, but it's so true. Vanilla standby is so stinky.
Alright, let's fix this then.
I don't think we have to fix too much about it. That was probably like a little bit higher. Probably like there.
Damn. It's all 3 Dows down here? No. Which one down?
No, it's only there's one up. All right, realistically, Gochi's B tier, like actually.
I'm
But like bottom, like put it next to like DC, DS, and SMP. Like probably where it belongs. If it's current Gochi without
I'm
looking at
putting
like new
here. I
stuff,
think it's worse than 8 choice still. Lime.
sure. I mean, I think the play with Abbott House is still 8 pants anyway, so that's fine. Do you think Dow will get a little more lenient to come back? No. It's taken the Monogatari and Cinderella Girls to Express, and it's not coming back for a very long time.
I think East Angle is worse.
Agreed.
Agreed. Worst
The
thing
deck's
here.
like almost unplayable.
Worst thing here. Probably. I feel like this should go down, but I don't have enough experience.
I don't have like any experience with it. If you want to put it down a little bit more because we don't know anything about it, I'm okay with that.
I think it's worse than Sunshine.
Realistically, Charlotte should probably go up a little bit, right? But what do you put it?
Charlotte
It's
gets
actually
bottom
worse.
C.
Oh, it's just always forever bottom C.
Yeah,
Okay.
Charlotte's forever bottom C.
Are those two for previously been decks even viable? No. Cinderella Girls probably more so than Monogatari.
Wait, what for in deck?
CG2 and Monogatari.
Oh no, those are probably worse than these two.
Yeah.
These 3.
Well, no. CG2 probably could. You could probably put some sort of argument for CG2.
Probably argue
Like float in there, like next to the Abuta or something.
somewhere
Maybe.
in the
Maybe. It has Kome. Has Kome and Azu, so that's pretty broken.
yeah, but it's fucking level
But-
1's even worse than every
Yeah,
single
you're
thing
playing a
here. It's
two-soul
level
trigger.
1's so fucking bad, dude.
You're playing a 2-soul trigger. It's fucking garbage.
Holy shit, it's level 1's garbage.
Yeah.
You can't sit on 7 keys. They're only 7 keys, right?
I don't remember.
Dude, they're just not
Maybe.
that big.
They're bad.
And you only get 1+ per turn.
Dow remains
2
left
soul,
until
it's like
no
it's
longer
more like a
relevant.
stock
Yes.
soul than 2 soul, dude.
Yeah, it's a stock soul. It's a 2-soul trigger.
Like where's the 2 souls in this deck? You see this, and then this has a 2 soul icon,
That's a stock soul.
but it's stock soul, and it's because of something else, not because it's stock soul. That makes it
Yeah,
good.
it's literally just because it selects. It selects and gives stock. That's all it has to do.
All right, guys, you can. Do I say you can screenshot this?
I mean, you're gonna screenshot it, are you not?
I
Are
was-
you not gonna
I have to-
screenshot
I have to
this and post this
screenshot and
anyway?
edit this fucking
Book?
book in. I had to Photoshop the book in.
You did it to yourself.
Ugh.
But good thing Neil said something I wouldn't have known. Doesn't the generator
Where's
link?
Frank's? Didn't
Well, it
answer
already
you.
did it.
What am I supposed to answer? Kill whatever's on D tier.
What? I don't see it. What?
Kill
Book
everything on
choice
D tier.
DC is the. Oh, is book choice D? Yeah, it's the humans deck. It is. So if you want to build a humans deck, Matt, you can play that deck.
Oh,
Where is my B tier deck? What B tier deck?
What?
What are you talking about, human?
you mean what are you
Where's
talking
Frank's?
about? Frank's?
Frank's is in don't play it tier.
Okay. You mean Frank's is like F tier? Every 20 bucks you give me, I'll move it up a tier.
No, it's like double F tier.
Yeah. So let's see. F E D C B. Okay, $100, and I'll move it to B tier. I'll send you my
Yeah,
PayPal. $20 per tier.
Per tier.
Eh. That's 8 nuggets. Poggers.
True.
Only 140 S.
I don't think there's anything more cringe than getting money.
By real
True.
3D girl.
Getting money countered by a real 3D girl is kind of weird, champ. But yeah, I mean, this was the list. I don't think there's much else I care to change. I would like, in my world, I would like Superstar to not be an S tier.
Okay, but we both have to agree that it kind of belongs there.
Yeah, deck's fucking broken.
What are we moving,
for now?
What are we moving below these two?
Can we move it? Can we move below the 3 like actual meta decks? Yeah, that's the doesn't deserve to belong deck. Can you repeat ways to draw into event?
What? Which deck?
Yeah, which deck? Arms or 88?
Are people drawing
into event?
Hey, just be good, dude. What the hell?
Well,
Strong.
You death script them. Don't you have the?
You have
the one card that can do it too.
Yeah, you have Cheery.
I mean, they just like literally death grip these events. Like they don't care.
Cause you can always select for everything else.
Yeah, you as far as I'm aware, you because you play the 2/0 event too, right? So you like at like level 0, at level 2, you can slam your 2/0 event, grab any cards you're missing. And then you just use Chieri and drawing to just start death gripping your 3/0 event.
You only grip like 1 or 2 anyway.
Yeah,
but you play it's a 4-off in your deck.
Yeah, so you find them perfect, golden. You say every extra 2/0 event, sick, because 2/0 events are just extra 2/1s.
Because your combos are so high selectivity, you just go pants. Pants finds your 2/1s, your 2/1s finds your rest of your engine pieces, and there you go.
Yeah.
And that's how you afford to death grip the events.
Yeah. It's really high consistency. It always does it. And then you just grab your Shiokos. It is a deck that most certainly has to sculpt for a lot, and it's being expected to have a lot.
But that's why you play Pants stock, so the 2 best sculpting combos in the deck.
Yeah, you're
not playing.
You also have the stock. You'll have the stock to like brainstorm or whatever too if you want to, right? Like you have like the room to do whatever you need to do. If you need to do something for like extra reach, you have the room to do it. You only need like I think it was like 8 stock, right? To like just blow your load on somebody.
Why stand by Hall Life C tier? Solid tier deck.
One, we don't know anything about it. We have no faith about it. Everybody who's ever talked to about it is like pretty low on it.
It might be better.
Except
Sora.
you.
I don't know. I've not seen.
It might be better than Sora, but like I also don't care enough to put it better than Sora either. I don't trust you, human. Stick to Quinch, Chief. That deck's sick. But yeah. I don't know who Joey is.
Joey's a BC player.
Okay. Yeah, 8 stock for 4. Yeah, basically 8 stock for 4 Sumeri. Well, 3 Sumeris and a Cuckoo, right? Yeah, you gotta put that in the Cuckoo.
Do I feel like Serum Pocket deserves to be dropped?
Built 2 of my last Nationals deck.
Do I feel like SMP deserves to be dropped?
We can't drop it. Those are the Titans, Kevin. If you drop one, you have to drop the other. I won't accept it otherwise.
Do we drop? I think Serum Pocket is worse than the Capel.
Do you really?
8 choice is like at least a deck.
8 choice is a deck. True.
Serum Pocket is kind of
weird. Can we drop Summer Pockets and put Gochi up there? That'd make me happier.
Fine.
Yeah. This is good.
No
I'd rather bring Gochi to an event than bring Summer Pockets. I played Summer Pockets a single time while Carmen was over here, and I hated it.
How the mighty is fallen.
Yeah. It's pretty nice.
It's level 1, so it's like level 1's even worse than.
It's level 1 is actually atrocious. It's 0 sucks too. Actually, like Summer Pocket 0 is so fucking garbage.
You have to play 4 Rize, 4 Clean Cuts, but Clean Cuts no longer good in the meta. At least this one you have the fucking Wushina.
your combo. Yeah, you're not, and you're like, you can't get memed on. You get memory kick counter. That's the only thing that happens with
Well,
Mari.
isn't your level 1 combo like either on reverse or you play a shitty ass?
It's the 8K door
Kamome.
Kamome.
Kamome, yeah. That's the name.
Yeah, you either get an on reverse draw 2 drop 1 Kamome, or you get the actual Kamome, the namesake one. The pick your trigger, your opponent picks the card for you. Or you get the AK Marika that can salvage the camera event if you choose to play it, which I don't even know if the deck's played that anymore.
Okay, kind of want to move this up.
Let's
There's
move what up?
slime pants store.
Above what? I'm okay with it. Like I think that deck's good.
Wait, I
like above what?
I fucking put door pants here. I'm so fucking cringe.
Yeah, it's one of your favorite decks.
Oh my god.
Don't forget, if you move that deck, you have to move your book, though.
Okay, we're not moving it. I'm not moving that stupid ass book.
Alright.
Alright.
Well, yeah, I mean, for the most part, like, again, I think a lot of these B tier decks, especially after, like, Risaya, maybe Mushoku, but Main Dream, like, after that little, like, bubble of, like, 5-6 decks there, like, where, like, I guess where Sao is, there's really, like, there's, like, a pretty, like, decent, like, a gap in strength, I think, but not big enough.
Yeah, Sao between FGO,
like,
I think, yeah, these start becoming
like, this has, because, like, Sao has Heathcliff, right? That's, like, that's its in. It's literally Heathcliff is the end for Sao. But, because you can like bully Gotobun with Heathcliff as well, which I think is really good.
I don't know. Alright, we'll keep it like this. Fuck it.
Yeah, this is good.
It's too much work to move stuff around now.
Yeah, anybody else have any questions while you're all here and we're still here? I appreciate how many of you guys actually came to watch. We had like 50 at one point. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, I think our peak was high 50.
Does Book Pants ALO try to play? Yes. It will play the restander.
But it won't play into it always. It's just there like a win more. Thoughts on Project Sekai?
That deck looks pretty. I think that set looks pretty sick so far, actually. That's like a set. Miku wishes it could have been as good as that set. Like, that deck has like, it's getting like, I think like every spoiler for that set has been getting like cooler and cooler cards. Like it actually has like True Ricky now too.
Oh, wait, card day was today, right? Did I miss it?
Maybe.
Because I don't have the.
I don't know. Open. I'm really enjoying. I'm enjoying looking at the PGS spoilers. I don't think I'm gonna buy it. I tend to personally avoid decks that can't be played in real events. But I think it's really cool cards. I think that set looks really fun. And if something cheap comes out, I'd like Susan on something.
The new double R today.
Did the new double R come out today?
Oh, this is a double R that I translated, but Chad didn't bother looking through Twitter to translate all the cards that were posted on Twitter. All the fucking IRL. It's like the on def drop, the drop search that goes to memory.
Drop search that goes to memory? Why did you spoil that?
I spoiled a huge batch of cards, like
the magazine
3 days ago.
Right? Oh, the green one?
Yeah.
It's like on play.
It's like on play, check top. If it's level 1 or higher, add a hand, discard 1.
Wait, that's sick.
And then on reverse, you can pay 1. This music character sent to memory, and search 1.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's a nice card.
I feel so flexed right now. Darcy, I think Marion is higher than what they put it.
Yeah, Marion would be higher.
Cheap. Okay.
I think these decks are really good decks though.
Yeah, like they don't like.
It's like
get like Marion. Like look, if in my bubble, I think Marion's like probably bet next to like Gochi. I think Marion is really good, but I can respect that Kevin maybe not like it as much. It has its issues. It does. It has its own issues. It doesn't heal very well. But what's good about Marion is that Marion's very flexible in how it builds its deck, which is a big boon for sure. And like maybe something like the Watame deck is like actually sick. I haven't gotten to play it. I've only like seen the list for it and I understand how it functions. where like you just slam the Watame EPs and like grappling hook and stuff. I think that might be really sick.
I think between Assault Lily and Kaguya, this power level between these are not that far off from one another, and it's like
yeah, I think these are like really strong.
All
decks.
it comes to preference and where you place them. I would not argue
Yeah.
too much if you place one of these higher than the other.
Like, I don't even think Rushia.
It's only
is,
once you hit Marvel and Gochi that I'm just thinking, okay, these
like,
probably shouldn't go much higher.
Like I think the only reason Rushia is up there and Hall and like Marine isn't is because Rushia is a meta warping combo. Meta Rushia when you have to play around Rushia. You can't ignore Rushia. Marine is just a deck. There is nothing you can do.
It's a good deck
to play around Marine. Marine is just going to do whatever they choose to put in their Marine deck, and that's what you have to accept. But Rushia, if you do not play around Rushia, if you're not playing cards like Adachi's, if you're not playing these cards to help remove her off the board, you may just concede a game to her because you're not prepared, and that's not very smart of you to do. Good, I think most of the good decks can all do something about it, which is good. You know, that's part of what I think makes them like better, is they have these things like, you know, LSP has their stupid Adachi. That card's broken. Niji can just like scale over her really hard every turn. That can be really frustrating. They also have the bottom deck kicker. Hololive being Hololive can answer cards just fine. Zombieland probably has the hardest time, but Zombieland has the benefit of the hexproof back row to dodge tap counter, and also has very, very high deck speed, similar to Danmachi, where it can force refresh very frequently in like the early mid game, and it can shove a lot more damage and kind of like put Hololive in a really awkward position. As well, it can choose to play some like cards that can help answer it if it wants to. DBG is DBG. Assault Lily has cards as well. It has like the Memory Kick Adachi, among some other good cards. Gochi has a bit of an issue, I think. That's probably the biggest issue with Gochi, is it can't really deal with Rushia very well, I don't think, but it can still do a lot. And it's still like a very potent top end, and like Rushia can be very weak to like some very potent top ends, or like a big weakness for Rushia. But Aoyama does lose to tap counter, which is big. Why are you floating superstars around? You want to put it lower?
Kinda.
Mushoku can just stand by. Yeah, Mushoku can just run it over Ghislaine, and just ignore tap counter and everything, which is fine. Danmachi, we said. Quince, we said. Superstar is just going to ignore it and try to kill you. ALL, again, potent finisher. I don't think they have a way to remove Rushia, though, and they will concede board to Rushia pretty often, and they're just going to try to crutch on killing you, which could be an issue, though. Like, that might be an issue that ALL faces versus Rushia. I don't think it's very good against it, without just being able to kill you.
But Rushia is just like one of few matchups.
Yeah, Rushia is just one of a few matchups for ALL that are a problem, but doesn't make it any weaker than it is. But, and like, again, Marine just doesn't have that potency where these decks have to like force themselves to answer it. It's just a very consistently good deck, which is good. I mean, I would take Marine to a tournament, 100%. But I just don't think it's like that much better than these other decks, because it doesn't do anything like particularly incredible aside from being able to abuse Watame early play, which I think is like probably one of the best cards in Hololive. Honestly, I think that's like I just keep coming around to that EP being broken. Yeah, I mean,
I'm thinking
decking things for free.
I kind of want to put Rushia down, this down, and then this, and then this down.
I don't know. I still don't really want to put Rushia lower than S tier. Like I still think just being meta warping is. I'm okay with dropping like everything else. Like I'm okay with dropping everything else. Riri top end was deadlier than Pajama Party Cause.
I kind of want to put S and A's, like these are decks that I would bring to a tournament.
Sure, I mean we can drop Marvel and Gochi. I'm okay with that.
Oh, here,
as long as Marvel, I'm okay with Gochi dropping as long as Marvel drops.
Here goes me having to fix the fucking book icon again.
Yeah, you did it to yourself. Neil would like to respectfully decline book choice dropping. I mean, I'm okay with not dropping the B tier stuff.
No,
to be
I meant
honest, but-
from World Trigger down. But I think we'll keep it like this. Actually, well, that's fine.
I mean,
fatter
I want
B is like.
I want
fine.
B to be fat because that's how this game is, right? There's like a lot of like
let
very
me find
very
a fucking
solid decks.
book icon. Here we go. Let me drag this over. There we go.
Yeah. I think this is agree. I think the power gap between Kaguya, LSP, SS tier, LSP is getting banned here, so I don't think there's ever a world where LSP survives the next ban list. It's okay, Ragnarok. You can't play Marvel at an event anyway.
Yeah, you can't play Marvel in a tournament anyways.
But yeah, I think this is like pretty. I think this is pretty solid. I think everything in SNA is something that you should look to take to an event and expect to do well with if you're good enough. Yeah, I mean, I like this.
I like this. Okay, we'll stop here. We won't touch this anymore.
All right.
Hopefully.
Any more questions? I can talk night and day about Rushia and Marion Hololive, but I don't think that's fun for everybody else.
Expecting E-ban for Super LSP.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame anybody for saying don't play this deck at an event.
I don't think LSP is the strongest, but I think it's the most unfun to play against.
Yeah, it's toxic.
It's the most toxic deck.
It is actually a toxic deck.
All right, guys, screenshot. You can screenshot this tier list. I'll screenshot myself too, I guess, and fix the whole book issue.
Yeah. So any more questions? Any more questions?
Make a new tier called Human and drop it in there.
Don't feed my ego. I'll lose control. You're not getting your own tier list, Human. Don't worry. You're not getting your own tier. Just drop the link. What the heck?
Just drop a link. I literally can't link my version of the tier list. I can link you the tier list maker I used.
The most of the thing that you do is gives you the. I still believe LSP is a guilty pleasure when it works. It's not when it works. It works.
SB TCG.
It will work. Once you know how that deck works. Once you know how that deck functions and you're comfortable with it, that deck will go off like.
Don't
just about every game.
Ping me tomorrow, please.
There you go.
Can I? How do I share this? Share a list on
Twitter.
On Twitter. Oh, wait, don't open Twitter. We know what happened last time I opened on Twitter.
You're probably safe.
Can I just copy this? All right, someone test this out for me. Tell me this links you there.
It does.
All right, there you go. All right, let's go back so the book can fix itself. Oh. Fuck.
Damn, I can't download the image, Smooch.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Smooch. Alright, there you go. Anything else? Otherwise, we'll be heading off now. It's been almost 3 hours now. It's probably...
Say a link at the bottom. Yeah, sorry, Steve. The deck's unplayable. You know it, I know it, we all know it.
That deck seemed really cool on paper, but just not work out on testing. There's no emoji for free react. Smoge.
No feet.
No feet. Well, maybe we are a bit harsh on Dal, but whatever. Over there.
No, fuck Dal.
Okay. Fuck Dal.
No, fuck Dal.
Fuck Dal.
I hate Dal so much. Yeah, I mean, any more questions before we
otherwise we're ending it when we hit long. 2 hours and 50 minutes.
What are we at now?
We're at 2 hours and 48 minutes and 39 seconds.
Dal hates you too. Dal does hate me. That's because I didn't have Ricky's.
Good job, guys. All right, if you want to see an English tier list, don't look at us.
Yeah, we don't play English.
go talk to the people of PGH Weiss. Watch that video.
They love English. They're English believers.
English is a stinky format until Mushoku comes out. Mushoku Hololive Danmachi comes out, and I'll get back in the game in English meta. Until then, I'm not touching that cesspool of Dao and Kaguya.
Yeah, give me Mushoku, and I'll play that format. You know these guys top bro. Yeah, we didn't top bro.
Yeah, we didn't top bro because Dao's we haven't played Dao and
Dao.
Yeah, we both
didn't play Dao and didn't play it.
We both picked Dao to play Springfest, and we both haven't touched the deck since Springfest. I mean, we both picked Dao for bro, but we haven't touched it since Springfest.
Yeah. Yeah. Deck is did not feel nearly as good as it did at Springfest.
Wake me up when I can play Rüshin in English.
True.
Except I was gonna play Mushoku in English.
Why aren't you gonna max Rüshin in English?
I am gonna max Rüshin in English. Although it might be hard to get the money for that because of Saikano.
You don't have to do it.
I'll probably at least buy 4 Russia TDSPs.
Coward.
Yeah.
I mean, the SSP is unplayable. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit on those and then save some money to max my true deck, Saikano Fine, where it's gonna be SS tier once again.
It's gonna be so bad.
I already called it once back when we got Saikano flat. I was like, yo, Saikano flat is where you're gonna get SS tier Saikano soon TM,
Yeah.
and it happened.
Yeah.
It happened.
Okay, Kevin.
It happened.
That's because your first set was so unplayable.
It
though.
happened. Oh yeah, I'm hyped. Saikano.
For your
Tier 0 meta, second time again. Let's go. Let's fucking go. There was that whole 6 months before Dao came out where Saikano was defended best deck in the game. Between Fate got hit and Dao came out. And we're gonna go back to that.
Yeah. Copium.
Alright, thanks everyone for watching. This will be
you
going
guys.
on to YouTube. Say hi to YouTube, to all you guys here. Literally Trip Gaming, fuck yeah. You already saw me fucking jump down my chair when that set got revealed.
Yeah, he's elite.
I'm literally Trip Gaming for Saikano. Let's go. We don't want to be S tier because you'll become irrelevant yet. No. Saikano can stay S tier for over a year again. I'll be happy.
No.
You even kick your chair. True. Chairs cost a lot of money, dude. I don't want to buy a new chair.
It's okay.
Alright, thank you
Thanks
guys.
everybody for watching.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.